highs in the lower to mid-50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The new year is here at Folsom Lake Kia. Shop my favorite dealer, Folsom Lake Kia, for low interest rates, low payment with zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia for over 25 years right here in Sacramento.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try soon. Harry's is available online and in-store at a retailer near you. Get a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/news. That's harrys.com/news. Or check us out at your local Costco for a price you can't find anywhere else. Just look for the Chrome Razor with 13 blade refills at your local Costco. You can't miss it. Exclusive to Costco members.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save on bulk purchases of select insulation from trusted brands like Green Fiber. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us for the materials you need, because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store Lowes.com/credit for details. U.S. only.
Do we want to get it up right now? I'll post right now.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road. So what if I need a new one? No problem. We have the right battery for your car, starting at only $89.99. And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination. AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got good news. The American Energy Heat and Air $0 HVAC diagnostic has been extended to February 29th. That's right. It expired at the end of January, but want to give you all an opportunity who missed out to get in. It's a $99 value. All right, it's $100, and right now it's free. I don't know how much easier I can pitch that. Normally $100, now $0. Let the American Energy team test your system, your connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly. And you know who's going to be coming to your home? A group of people that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. A group of folks that have been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. $0 HVAC diagnostic. Normally a $100 value right now at American Energy Heat and Air. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or call them to make your appointment. 916-520-9990.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
The Super Bowl is almost here. Let's get you prepped. Let's get you hyped. Let's get you to Las Vegas as we bring you the latest on the 49ers and Chiefs as they close in on Super Bowl LVIII. Here are your hosts of Stiles and Watkins, Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Friday, closing out the week right, Stiles and Watkins, and we are still in Vegas thanks to Jiffy Lube. Sactown Sports Road Trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by our friends at Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a radio road trip or just a road trip, visit Jiffy Lube for all your automotive maintenance needs. Jiffy Lube is your road trip headquarters. And just because it's the last day, Chris, we're not slowing down.
Yeah.
You can't slow down,
No, we
okay?
can't.
Bomani Jones, that's coming up. Takeo Spikes, that's coming up.
Yep.
Carlos Ramirez, that's coming up. Mike Golick,
Oh,
radio
that's
legend,
right.
that's coming up. And we don't just do sports here. We don't just do sports here on Sactown Sports. We got Bert Kreischer
Yeah, that was
as
crazy.
well, and he is outstanding. We saw him, and Jay's doing his thing. Thank you to Kyle back in Sacramento taking care of us. Nate's been doing an outstanding job all week. Jay, you know what it is with Jay. Jay doing his thing as well. Chris, we're almost to the finish line.
I know. I feel
it's
like
bittersweet.
It is bittersweet. It's been incredible here. The guests that we've gotten, like you said, Jay's been going out of his mind. He gone again. It's been incredible. And then I'm a little bit afraid that on Monday we're going to go into the studio and have to do 4 hours by ourselves.
That's right.
And it's going to feel like the longest shows that we've ever done because it's been a lot of other people talking on these past couple days, and it's going to be weird to go back to just us blabbering about for 4 hours.
Yes. But, thank you to everybody on the Sac Chat that's been listening.
Yeah,
wherever you're
absolutely.
listening, in the car, Sactown Sports, the app, SactownSports.com. And we can't forget, I know I'll say their names today, even though they didn't do anything, but technically the roster changed for about 2 seconds.
That's right.
All right, with Robin Lopez.
Yeah.
The Kings do play tonight against the defending champs, the Nuggets, and I believe the Nuggets will be at a more full strength than they were last time. They'll have Jamal Murray. They'll have Jokic. So the Kings got to be up to the task. And look, after the stinker that they put on, you go from the worst team in the league to arguably the best team, at least the best team in the West. I don't care what the standings say. To be the best, you got to beat the best, and they're the defending champs. Kings got the Nuggets tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's Alan, I feel like I know what's going to happen because you lose to the Pistons in embarrassing fashion, and then you play the defending champs, like you said, fully healthy. I'm feeling a Kings 20-point win tonight. It's only fitting.
Who they are.
It's only fitting.
That is who they are.
They're going to come back and give the best performance of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's going to click. They're going to say, this is why we didn't make a trade. Internal development. Look at the growth of this team's going to be so exciting.
Yep.
And we're probably going to be right back on the roller coaster when we play the Nuggets in like 2 days.
Yeah, that's just who they are and who they've been as we continue to talk Super Bowl as well. And what's crazy about the Super Bowl and all of our picks, what would you say? We've been writing them down.
Yeah.
But right now, honestly, and I'm not just saying this, it's been about, I want to say 70 to 30.
I was going to say 80.
Chiefs, okay, 80-20.
Yeah, it's probably
Chiefs
been 80-20.
People are very afraid
I would have to
of Patrick
think
Mahomes.
of the people who have taken the Niners. And, that's the thing is this man – I've never heard so many people use the term fear, and you can't bet again. Like, there is a legitimate fear.
He's
of
lost
being
the Super Bowl
scored
before
by Patrick Mahomes. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's lost before. Granted, it was to Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
it's like, these guys are, even Tom Brady lost 2 Super Bowls to Eli Manning. So it's like the amount of people who just are just terrified to pick against Patrick Mahomes. I understand.
Right.
I'm just surprised at the amount of people that just refuse to go with the team that played the best and has the best roster in the NFL. Granted, they haven't played the best these past 2 weeks, but man, there was an 18-week sample size of this 49ers team being head and shoulders above everybody else. And then 2 weeks, it feels like 2 bad playoff games, or not even bad because they ended up getting the result, but 2 disappointing playoff games. And all of a sudden, the Niners are just a regular team.
Yep, got to get to a break. When we get back, fully loaded show. More Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports, and SactownSports.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The San Francisco 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs. It's Super Bowl 58, live from Las Vegas, Sunday, February 11th on Sactown Sports. It started with 32 teams back in September with one goal. Now we're down to the final two with a chance to earn the coveted Lombardi Trophy.
It's Super Bowl 58 as the Kansas City Chiefs look to go back-to-back while the San Francisco 49ers seek their 6th Super Bowl title.
Super Bowl 58, Sunday at 3:30 on your home for the NFL. Sactown Sports.
Stiles Watkins back live from Las Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube. Special thanks to Jiffy Lube for making our road trip to Radio Row possible. Jiffy Lube, a proud sponsor of Sactown Sports. And we are joined 5-year NFL vet, Miami Dolphins fullback, Alec Ingold. Alec, thank you so much for joining the show.
Appreciate you guys having me on. That's a good tee up, man. I mean, we're going from Jiffy Lube to a 5-year NFL career, man. Like, let's roll, man.
Yes.
I need a sponsorship from Jiffy Lube. We're doing the dirty work, man. It's
Hey, hook them up, Jiffy Lube. We can make that happen.
People.
I
We
love
clearly
it.
know people. So this year, you're a nominee for the prestigious Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award. Just tell us what that means to you to be nominated for that.
Dude, it means everything. For your organization, like what you go to work with every day, they pick one person, one man inside and outside the building that's doing it the right way. Like that amount of validation. I hate talking about external validation, but it just internally tells you you're on the right track. You're doing things the right way. And like that's why it's the biggest honor in all of football right now. And it's really cool to see all other 31 nominees here.
Yeah.
Their foundations they're working on. You get so inspired by that group of people, right? You're the energy you give off.
Yeah.
And it's a very inspiring crew.
That's awesome. Yeah, Eric Armstead's the Niners representative, and he's from Sacramento, so we get to see a lot of the work that Eric does. What's some of the work that you do in your community?
Man, I'm big into foster care and adoption advocacy.
Awesome.
I was adopted myself as a newborn, and that's just it. It's cool to be able to use your own story for some good, right? The platform that you're on in the NFL, it's what we do. Football is what we do, but why you do it or why you're there for the adoption thing, man, to be able to play Madden with some kids or put on a financial literacy camp for them, let them come out and play football with us. Like the amount of doors you can open in the windows that you see from some of these kids, like, okay, this is the blueprint. I can take this. I can run with it. I can go wherever I want to go with it. It's really cool to work in that space.
Talking to Alec Ingold, Miami Dolphins fullback, 5-year NFL vet, 3 years for the Raiders. And if we're not mistaken, they went to Vegas. You finished in Oakland right? So have you been to Allegiant? What do you think about the change? I mean, we won't get into the A's because we don't have enough time for all that. But what do you think? Right. And then the Raiders, they got their own problems with the Chiefs and the Niners.
Yes.
You got to pick your poison.
Yes.
We got a lot of Raider fans in Sacramento. What do you think about what the Raiders got going on?
Man, so my rookie year was the last year in Oakland.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was a part of that transition period into Vegas with COVID, all of that. But that last year in Oakland, man, that was something special. It was one of the best years. I literally named my dog Oakland because I loved being there. It was, we're in Alameda, but I was staying right down Jack London Square. You know what I'm saying? I was right downtown.
I was in Alameda,
Dude, it's an absolute pleasure. The aura of the Raiders, you just get that little taste of the Coliseum. All of that was beautiful, and I was glad that I got 1 year there. And then a part of that Vegas trip, man, that was a crazy experience trying to pack up my things from the apartment, driving straight down to Vegas, trying to, figure out what the heck to do down here, man. So it was a good time with the Raiders for sure.
You talk about that Raider culture too, and how you felt it when you were in Oakland, and it felt like they lost it a bit. I mean, a bit of no identity just showing up in Vegas. Do you feel like Antonio Pierce has kind of brought that? That seems to be the thing that most people say he's really bringing, is just he understands what it means to be a Raider.
Yeah, we had a good nucleus core group of guys: Max Crosby, Josh Jacobs, myself, Foster Morrow, Hunter Renfrow. AJ Cole still playing with the Raiders. We had a group of guys make that transition and do the best we could with it. And you see headman Antonio Pierce coming in, that's the Raiders that and love. That's the Raiders that we're smoking in the locker room, whatever it is. And it's they're the bad boys. They're playing tough defense. It hurts when you play those guys. We played them coming off our bye week, man, and it was such a back and forth game, a close game. We're really talented. We ended up pulling it out, but everyone showing up after the facility the next day, we're like, man, them boys hit. That defense hits. Max Crosby hits. So it's cool to see that they have that opportunity to carry through a little bit of that consistency with those guys still in the building.
Talking to Alec Ingold, Miami Dolphins fullback. And, you talk about the Raiders hitting hard. Well, we know the Niners hit hard, not just on defense, offense as well. And Kyle Juszczyk is part of that. We've been wondering, you get tight end U, right? And they're calling it the tight end U Bowl with George Kittle and Travis Kelce. Is there anything, because there are not a lot of fullbacks still in the league right now, is there any connection or any type of fullback that you have with other guys in the league that are fullbacks?
Right now, it's just a group chat, but I heard that.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's how tight end U started.
That's right.
And they go to Nashville. They're doing their thing. So I'm thinking we bring all the fullbacks up to the Northwoods, right? Somewhere in the middle of nowhere. We're just deadlifting, eating steaks, right? Just all this stupid,
no forks.
No forks. We're just breathing with our mouths the whole time. And Juice probably is he's the GOAT right now, man, in my opinion. But there's a number of other guys around the league doing their thing. So it's always cool to see the fullbacks getting their love, and I'm hoping he has a heck of a game in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I hate to bring this up, but I mean, you know this Chiefs team really well. You saw them in the playoffs. What was kind of your thought going through that game? And of course, the weather played a huge factor in that. But just what have you thought about the Chiefs' run to the Super Bowl so far?
I mean, they're disciplined, man. It's all about the culture that they have.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just in the bricks. They just know how to win. And it's they make it so difficult for you to do what you love to do, what you want to do. And I think their game plan, the coaching, executing it from the film room to the game room. I know this is cliche sayings, but it's true. Yeah. And when you feel it, it's man, they don't get phased. You watch an AFC Championship game against the Ravens, there's no bonehead mistakes. There's no turnovers. They aren't playing bad football. They're playing good football when it matters most. And it's just it just felt like as soon as they won, they're all right, it's on to the Super Bowl. Let's get into our routine. There was no crazy celebrating. It was shaking hands.
Right.
This is what we expect to do. Now let's go over to Vegas and play a Super Bowl.
Talking to Alec Ingold, Miami Dolphins fullback. Before we get your pick, I do want to ask the comparisons between, or I guess some of the similarities. We've been talking so much about Brock Purdy and the game manager stuff, but you have a quarterback that has dealt with, I guess, similar criticisms in Tua. Do you see any similarities either on the field or just in the media with how both of these quarterbacks are viewed and maybe a little underrated?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of similarities in maybe some of the criticism that they have to face, the narratives that they have to face. And I mean, that's a funny thing about narratives is it really doesn't matter when it gets in your walls. And it's you get Tua leading the league in passing from week 1 all the way through to week 18. Dude was balling.
Yeah.
But he still had to deal with those narratives. Can he stay healthy every single week? Brock Purdy, you're dealing with those same narratives. Is he a game manager? Is he not? Dude just keeps winning. keeps balling. He's in the NFC Championship game, ripping off 27 unanswered points with a bloody nose, with torn up leggings, like throwing his shoulder down, running people over. And it's like, is that a game manager? Like, I don't know, but he keeps winning ball games. So narratives are a funny thing. I love when quarterbacks can like feel it.
Yeah.
Like move into that, embrace it a little bit, and use it as kind of like their own little X factor as a part of the overall game.
Well, this has been outstanding, Alec, talking to Alec Engel. You have your own weekly show now, Players Point, on Sirius XM NFL radio channel. And I definitely want to check it out because this has been great. Definitely want to make sure we get you out of here on time. But before we do, you're looking at it right here. You're looking at the poster. Do the Niners get number 6? Or like you said, that business over there, will they take care of business from Kansas City and Mahomes gets another championship?
I think it's going to be a tight game, and I think the 49ers score about as many points as Christian McCaffrey gets touches.
Wow.
If you get him out of the backfield, he's touching the ball 25, 30 times this game, they're going to be scoring a lot of points. I could see the 49ers getting number 6. C-Mac might have that MVP. Maybe it's Brock Purdy.
Maybe it's Kyle Juszczyk.
Maybe it's Kyle Juszczyk. Maybe big old Trent Williams. Let's give him some love.
Right.
Oh, man. So I take the Niners in this one.
27-24. And again, congrats on your nomination for the NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year award. That is outstanding. Alec, this has been great. Have fun the rest of your time in Vegas, and hopefully we talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. I can't wait. Appreciate you guys.
All righty. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins in Vegas, thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
(6661) Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Someone somewhere may have told you that you can't mark your ball with a tee. Well, Golf Monthly's Jeremy Elwood looked into that. Since 2019, the definition of a ball marker is an artificial object when used to mark the spot of the ball to be lifted, such as a tee, a coin, an object made to be a ball marker, or another small piece of equipment. Urban Myth says that sticking a tee in the green is testing the surface, and they're pretty sure there's a rule against that. But if you think about it, sticking a tee in the ground tells you no more or less than what you're the green before you putt, and we all know we're encouraged to do that. To be fair, there is more of a chance of being asked to move the tee if you use one instead of a flat marker, as there's more likelihood of a ball being stopped or deflected with the tee. Not illegal, just inconvenient. By the way, the definition says it must be an artificial object, so don't be tempted to use a leaf, a twig, or a stone, as that will cost you a penalty stroke. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Welcome to a brand new year filled with limitless possibilities at Kia of Vacaville. Prepare yourself for an extraordinary driving adventure as we present our impressive 2024 vehicle lineup. Step into the future with state-of-the-art technology, groundbreaking features, and the sleek design that has become synonymous with Kia. Immerse yourself in the dynamic performance of the all-new Kia Sportage, where captivating design meets exhilarating power. Experience the fuel efficiency of the Kia Niro, a hybrid marvel that extends your journey with every mile. Indulge in the sophistication of the Kia Telluride, seamlessly blending luxury and versatility. Don't overlook our eco-friendly Kia hybrid options, ideal for those who prioritize efficiency without sacrificing style. If you're in search of the EV9, Kia of Vacaville has it in stock or available for delivery. Visit Kia of Vacaville today and cruise into 2024 with confidence and style. Kia of Vacaville, where innovation meets the road. Elevate your drive. Elevate your year. Model availability and features may vary. Please see the dealership for details.
This time check is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville. Check them out at kiavacaville.com. Sactown Sports Road Trip to Vegas to cover the big game is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your place to take your car before your next road trip.
Our Stiles and Watkins road trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Car maintenance from oil changes to tires and brakes, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Now back to more of Stiles and Watkins.
We are back. Sactown Sports road trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by our friends at Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a road trip, visit Jiffy Lube for all your automotive maintenance needs. Jiffy Lube is your road trip headquarters. Stiles and Watkins, we are live from Radio Row, joined by the one, the only Solomon Wilcots, who is an NFL veteran, NFL Network, NFL radio analyst, host of the Opening Drive, which you can hear weekday mornings on the Sirius XM NFL radio channel. Solomon, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, yeah, man. Great to be on with you guys from Sactown.
Yes,
huh?
sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
I know a little bit about that.
Okay.
That's
Really?
all good.
What brought you out to Sac?
Well, one of my boys, Eric Thomas, played for the Cincinnati Bengals. He and I met at the scouting combine. We ended up getting drafted to the same team. He's repping Sacramento 100%.
Yes.
So he's born and raised there. And so, but he's my best friend, was the best man in my wedding.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it's all he ever talks about.
Dude,
There you
people from Sacramento love them some
That's
Sacramento.
exactly right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
That's awesome.
That's right. That's right. Solomon, so let's start here. Obviously, as an analyst, you are looking at this game from through the lens of just a guy who played defensively. We've heard a lot about both run defenses, right?
Yeah.
And what me and Chris have been talking about is the Niners run defense hasn't been playing well. The Chiefs run defense just isn't very good, right? How does that affect you as a former DB? How does that affect you when the run game and the run defense isn't really working as you would like? How does that affect you on the back end? All right, if they try to throw the ball here, we got to make sure that we're on our P's and Q's because the run defense ain't cutting it today.
Well, first of all, I think it is a very good question because if you're a secondary defender and you're getting gassed up front in the run game, you have this tendency to want to creep a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, get up there maybe a little sooner because it gives you the chance to get up on the running back before there's too much space for him to operate, right? And if they're really quick and fast, they could get the angle and run away from you. So you got to be cognizant not to get too far away and to try to at least corral them. What happens is you start to get nosy.
Right.
And you start to become a little more undisciplined. And now you're not on your keys. You're not really participating. Remember, they give it the term secondary for a reason. You are a secondary defender,
right.
not a primary defender. Your job is not to stop the run if you are a secondary player. So your job is just don't let it hit for a home run, right? And so that's what happens. You start to feel like, man, we're getting gashed today. Now you start creeping up to that line and you're trying to become more of a primary run defender. And now you're not doing your job. Next thing you know, they go play action pass. You're sniffing around line of scrimmage. Somebody's running right by you and they were wide open for a touchdown. That's usually, and it has a cumulative effect, right? Over the course of a game. And you can catch some safeties getting a little bit nosy, creeping around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's fast. I've never heard, obviously everyone knows the term secondary, but I've never thought of it in that fashion. That's incredible. Obviously, you talk about the Bengals a lot. You were on the Bengals for some time. A lot is talked about Brock Purdy and his supporting cast, but we've actually talked about on the show, not a lot is brought up about Joe Burrow and how he had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. How much do you feel like it's fair for Brock to get the amount of criticism he gets when it feels like, guys like Tua, it's not just Joe Burrow, but there's plenty of guys out there who have good supporting casts and they don't seem to get the same flack that Brock seems to get?
I think it's totally unfair because every single quarterback is, and not 100% a byproduct of the players they have around them. But I do think early in a quarterback's career, it's so much needed to have veteran players around them, right? And guys who have some nuance in understanding how to get open, how to win in contested catches situations. Then as quarterbacks begin to become more mature, more knowing, more understanding of defenses, now they can help the guys around them elevate, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of here. All of them have this arc of growth and development. I think Mahomes is just one of those guys that's been an outlier.
Yeah.
Came right in his very first year as a starter, threw for 5,000 yards. Throwing back across the field, right? Stuff you're not even supposed to do. But Brock Purdy deserves a lot of credit because when plays break down, he is still capable of making plays. He's asked to participate within the structure of the offense. And anything outside of that, Kyle Shanahan wouldn't play him.
Right.
So, yeah, he's asked, even as you listen to Kyle Shanahan, he's asked to manage moments in games. He's asked to be a game manager. And now, as his career grows and when moments change within games, like you saw in the NFC Championship game, he was asked to do more.
Right.
And he proved that he could do more.
Right.
If you look at the AFC Championship game, second half, Pat Mahomes was asked to be a game manager. And what didn't he?
They didn't score in the second half.
They didn't score, no points, but
Nope,
you know
no
what
turnovers.
you know what he's asked to do? Don't turn it over.
Yep.
So if you understand the nuances of the game, understand what the quarterback is being asked to do at various moments in games, then I think then you can critique fairly. But look, I think some people like the low-hanging fruit. I think some people aren't journalists. They're entertainers. They love to be bombastic and say the thing that gets headlines. And
that's what it
if
is
that's
now.
what they do, that's what they do. It's
Right.
okay. But the real true football people know that Brock Purdy is more than just a game manager because he's proven it when he's been asked to.
Talking to Solomon Wilcots, NFL Network, NFL radio analyst, host of the Opening Drive, weekday mornings on the Sirius XM NFL radio channel. Solomon, you played in the Super Bowl against the Niners, right? And the Niners got it done. We talk a lot when it comes to these picks, and everybody keeps saying, hey, the Chiefs have Mahomes, and that's a big deal, right? Even if the Niners might be a little bit better. But we've been saying here that, you know, it's kind of hard to stay hungry when you're well-fed. And the Chiefs have been well-fed. Just take us through, you were in the situation to just get in the mindset of the Niners. If you had an opportunity to go up against the Niners again, wouldn't you say that the Niners maybe have a little bit more hunger in this Super Bowl to go up and get revenge to what happened in the Chiefs the last time they played them?
I'll go a step further because I do believe it's kind of like you have something good, man. That don't quench your hunger. You greedy. You want more.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything that's good.
Yep.
Potato chips. Yep.
Bro, I don't care what it is. You're like, ooh, I got to get some more of that.
Yeah.
You're right.
And that, if you listen to Travis Kelce talk about it, he said he's never wanted a Super Bowl more than wanting this one.
Yeah.
Because if you get one, you know what you want? Two.
Another one.
If you get two, you know what you want? Three.
Yep.
Ask Tom Brady.
Right.
He didn't stop at 3. He didn't stop at 4. He didn't stop at 7 Super Bowls. This dude, now if that's not greedy, that's gluttony.
Yeah.
But guess what? That's what success does. It breeds even more success. But I think if look, as a defensive player, if you would ask me, what defense would you, if you had to play against one, because of what's going to be required to stop that opposing offense, which one would you have rather not face? Nobody wants to say, oh, I'll take Pat Mahomes, because you know that dude is tough.
Yeah.
But think about it. I'd rather have to say stop Pat Mahomes. There's no Tyreek Hill. And all the other receivers, Rashae Rice is a rookie. He's the best of them. And then you say, okay, we just got to stop Travis Kelce.
Right.
I got to just take him away. And everybody else, I'm going to live with. I would not want to have to face this 49ers offense where Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, he could beat you. Kittle could beat you. Ayuk could beat you. Kyle Juszczyk can beat you.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of problems for Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, to have to say, I got to stop this guy. I got to stop this guy. That is a very difficult equation. So I think that's the best way that I would put it.
Yeah.
If I had to play against one offense and say who's easier to stop, I would say it's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
but it's not an easy equation.
Right.
It's still going to be tough. Right?
Yeah. Solomon, thank you so much. This has been great. Before we get you out of here, we got to get your
Gotta
pick.
get it.
Who do you have winning this one? Do the Niners get 6, or is it the Chiefs again?
We're in Vegas, right?
Yes, sir.
You're always playing the odds.
Yeah.
And look, Pat Mahomes, bad dude. Right?
Yeah.
And the money says don't bet against Pat Mahomes. Not that I'm rooting for them to win. That's not the same thing.
Right.
I'm just saying smart money say don't bet against Pat Mahomes. I'm sorry.
Yep.
All right. And I know you guys are Niners fans, but if I had your mortgage right now and say, you're going to lose your house on this
Man.
one. Come on now.
Yeah.
You be right there with me.
I know. So you got the Chiefs.
Yep.
You got the Chiefs. Solomon
Appreciate you,
Wilcox,
Solomon. Thank you.
NFL veteran, NFL Network, NFL radio analyst, host of the Opening Drive weekday mornings on Sirius XM NFL radio channel. Solomon, thank you so much. Got to get to a break. We'll be right back with more Stiles and Watkins in Vegas. Thanks.
In goal during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense, can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
The power's out at our house. Coffee table. But since our family has storm-ready Wi-Fi from Xfinity, we can stream or game in the dark, as I try and fill around for a seat. Here we go. Oh, who moved the couch?
Get storm-ready Wi-Fi only from Xfinity, so you can stay connected for up to 4 hours, even when the power goes out. Restrictions apply. Limited to customers within range of 4G LTE cellular signal. Speeds reduced to 30/7 megabits per second. Actual speeds vary. Learn more at xfinity.com/stormready.
Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your road trip headquarters.
We are back. Stiles and Watkins. Oil changes, tire rotations, or overall car maintenance, then Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube is the place to take your car for your next road trip. Jiffy Lube, proud sponsor of Stiles and Watkins Radio Row road trip to Las Vegas, joined by my guy. We've kicked it back in Alameda. Now I'm in Sacramento, Sactown Stiles. Carlos Ramirez, NBC Sports Bay Area 49ers pre and post. Carlos, where are you? Why aren't you with us right now? We talked to Laura, okay? We talked to Jennifer Lee Chan. Where you at, Carlos?
Carlos? Hold on, we can't hear Carlos. Oh man, can't hear Carlos.
We're trying to get Carlos.
Okay. Huh.
As we get Carlos,
we'll
we saw him.
out.
Yeah, we
saw him. We saw him on the stream.
We got people coming up to us during the live stream. We got mics, man. No respect.
Everyone wants to be on the show. We
That's right.
We talked about this yesterday, man.
That's right.
Someone came up and was like, "Hey, man, you're gonna want me on your show,
yeah,
man.
Trust me, you're gonna want me.
Right,
okay,
man. Okay, for sure.
You talk to Jay. Don't talk to me. I'm just behind the mic. Jay is the man with the plan. Wanted to get a little bit into somebody that I think we're not talking enough about I think we have Carlos. Carlos, we got you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
we got you now.
Yeah.
We got you.
Yeah.
There we go.
Carlos Ramirez, NBC Sports Bay Area. You in the car right now? Are you driving to Vegas? Did you go to Jiffy Lube first? Are you driving to Vegas to kick it with your boys?
No and no. I'm driving up to San Francisco. We're taping today's show, today's 49ers live show. And then we're flying to Las Vegas with Dante Robb to complete the NBC Sports coverage team with you guys in Nevada. Before we start, if you let me, if you would indulge me.
Yes, please.
I am so happy, so happy to see that someone finally opened their ears and eyes and gave my friend Alan Stiles the opportunity he deserves. Because he is a smart, prepared, strong, sensitive, very smart human being. And I'm very happy to see that Sacramento has one of the best people I've met in the business, in the industry. Good things to you, my brother, and to everyone who works with you, because you're a beacon of light for everyone in this business. Carry on.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you. Maybe tear up, man. Dang.
You need to update your Insta or your Twitter bio. Or
Thank
something,
you,
man.
Carlos. Thank you so much. Chris, you go. I need to take a minute. I need to take a minute.
Carlos, yesterday, big news coming out from the NFL honors. No, you're good. Go ahead.
I just want to know if I read that just how you wrote it, Alan. Was that right?
Yes, that was correct. That was correct.
Okay.
I think you left out extremely humble as well and good looking, but you hit on everything else.
I must have missed that in the email. My bad. Sorry.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Carlos, I want to ask you about the NFL honors yesterday. Niners had a pretty big day. You get Patrick Willis into the Hall of Fame. You get CMC as the Offensive Player of the Year. Just how awesome was that to see last night, the Niners getting those wins before hopefully the win on Sunday?
It was really nice. It was really emotional to see Patrick finally get his due in the NFL and the Football Hall of Fame in Canton. I've had the privilege to work with Patrick a couple of times while hosting 49ers pre and post, and he is such a humble. He's one of those people who you have no idea how they become what they became on the football field, because they're so different. They have it's like split personalities. He is such a gentle giant. But then when he put those pads on and those helmets, it was all business. It was all mean football spirit, and not to hurt people, but you know what I'm saying. So I think it was a very emotional day for all 49ers fans who understood it was long overdue for Patrick to be inducted into Canton. And then I don't think there was any doubt that Christian McCaffrey was going to win this award. I believe he should have been higher up in the MVP conversation. With all due respect to Lamar Jackson, I think some people who vote for this award should either lay a clearer groundwork for how do they evaluate who's going to be the MVP? Because, I mean, Lamar Jackson had a great season, but I think if you look at the scope of who did their job better, who was more influential towards the success of their team, I don't think there's any doubt that Christian McCaffrey was at least up there with Lamar Jackson. But and then you have Brock Purdy also winning the FedEx Air Player of the Year award, with McCaffrey being the Ground Player of the Year. So it was a very emotional and deserved night for the 49ers, and hopefully it was just the lobby for what will happen on Sunday.
Talking to Carlos Ramirez, NBC Sports Bay Area 49ers pre and post. And Carlos, I thought it was 70-30 with everybody that we've had on the show as far as their picks, right? Chris said it might be 80-20, everybody picking the Chiefs, including your co-host, your friend, Laura Britt. She went in the direction of the Chiefs. Are you surprised? I mean, I know that Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. I know that they have Travis Kelce. But I'm starting to think at this point, the most underrated part of the Niners has got to be their defense. They've always had an elite defense. They haven't looked like it, okay, these last couple weeks. But I think the Niners got everybody right where they want them because nobody is really talking about the Niners. This is the first time I think you can say a team is the betting favorite, but I guess the majority or the public underdog. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think recency bias, Alan, plays a part in how people perceive this matchup. What I mean by that is I think people just remember what happened against the Lions and the Packers and how the 49ers looked on both those games, especially their first half. And then they go back and look at what the Chiefs did against the Ravens and the Bills. And they say, well, perhaps they see a two-game trend in the 49ers. Their slow start, and if they do that again, they're not going to be able to come back against the Chiefs. I think that's the line of reasoning behind why they're choosing the majority of people are going behind the Chiefs and picking Kansas City. They are the defending champions, plus they did beat the 49ers 4 years ago, even though they're vastly different teams. But if you just look at the totality of the season, from week 1 to week 21, right? There's no doubt that the 49ers are the better football team, even with the loss of Talanoa Hufanga, that I think is a significant loss for that defense. But they have the two most penalized tackles in football, the Chiefs do. Joe Thuney will not suit up for Sunday, and even if he does, he's not going to be at 100%. So I like to look at the bigger picture here and say the 49ers have the better running back. They have the better tight end this season, undoubtedly the best wide receiver core. They have a healthier offensive line. They have a better front seven. I do think the Chiefs have a better kicker and secondary. They have a better if you have the pieces. How do you not like the 49ers? It just, again, with all due respect to the Chiefs and what Patrick Mahomes does, he is one man. I understand it. He is a very influential man within the construct of the game. I get that. I get all that. But I like to just see a wider picture of who these teams were in the season. And the 49ers were the better football team.
Yep. Absolutely. No doubt at all. Carlos, I know Alan's going to want to ask you a couple Giants questions, so I'm going to get mine in real quick. I know you're a big soccer fan. The World Cup just announced that officially Levi's is going to host 6 of those World Cup games. First off, how awesome is that for the Bay Area? And also, I mean, with the concerns of the final being at MetLife Stadium, are we afraid that that field is going to take away Kylian Mbappe from us?
No. That's a great question. Well, first of all, the Bay Area has been deprived of the overwhelming superstar MLS experience because we know how the Quakes operate. They haven't been able to sign or haven't decided, to be honest, to sign a top-end tier star to come to the Bay Area, which I think is just a disservice to this market because Bay Area is used to the Stephen Currys of the world, the Barry Bonds, the George Kittles, the Joe Montanas, the Steve Youngs, the Jerry Rices, the Klay Thompsons, and so on and so forth. They did have Chris Wondolowski for a bit, but if we're talking about global stars like David Beckham, Thierry Henry, Zlatan, and now Lionel Messi and Kaká, who played in Orlando, the Quakes have a due with this fan base to go out and get a bona fide soccer star. But since I don't see that happening in the near future, and we understand the ties that the Quakes have with the A's and why that might be the case, I think the first real taste of soccer massiveness, of the intensity of what this sport really is, will come in 2026. I hope we get a USA national team game here, or a Mexico national team game. I don't think Mexico will play here because it makes sense for them to play all their games in Mexico, in Guadalajara, Mexico City, and Monterrey.
Right.
But that will be, I hope, that in combination with a couple of years of Bay FC in the NWSL will really give the Bay Area a real taste of what European fans, South American fans get on a weekly basis with their domestic leagues and continental clubs and national teams. Whenever I speak about soccer with my fellow NBC Sports Bay Area people, if they're not soccer fans, it's like I'm speaking a foreign language. They don't understand it. And I get it, because why would they if they've never seen this? And when I say, listen, this is bigger than any 49ers game, they're like, no, shut up. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
Yes.
So that I think will change the minds and perspectives of many people here in the Bay.
Talking to Carlos Ramirez, NBC Sports Bay Area 49ers pre and post. Carlos, all right, we see you driving. Wherever you're going, get there safe. But before we get you out of here, let's get your pick. Are you going to add to the 80 with the Chiefs, or are you going to be a part of the minority, the 20? I know. I got to ask anyway. I know you're Niners. I know you're Niner gang.
Come on. Listen, I respect the Chiefs. I hope we have a tightly contested game for viewership's sake. For my heart and everyone else's cardiac conditions, I hope the 49ers blow them out. I don't think it'll happen. But what I do believe from the bottom of my heart is that a more mature Kyle Shanahan, a more accomplished Kyle Shanahan, with this offense and the pieces that it's built with, have a different sense of urgency and calmness at the same time, which might seem like a juxtaposition. Let me explain. Trent Williams, this is his first Super Bowl. It might be his only Super Bowl. Christian McCaffrey, first Super Bowl. Hopefully not the last one.
Right.
But there's a combination of pieces here who have either been here before and know what's at stake, or this is their first trip here, but have such mileage behind their careers that understand what's at stake from a different perspective. So I think that gives them both the adequate sense of urgency with the proper sense of maturity to approach this battle on Sunday. And that's why I think, and we've been talking a lot about the defense and the 49ers defense and how they've looked last couple of games. Fair. But if the 49ers are going to win this game, I think they're going to have to score 30 plus. The Chiefs defense has not allowed more than 27 points this season. That's the top. And it was against the Packers, a game they lost 27-19. So I think the 49ers number has to be 30, at least 30, so they can put the pressure on an offense that at times has looked pedestrian, to be honest. So if you put the pressure on the MBSs and the Pachecos and the Rashee Rices to deliver, I think that offense might crumble. With that offensive line that is not up to the task, I think, to protect Mahomes of Bosa, Young, Hargrave, Armstead, Warner, Greenlaw, and Steve Wilkes packages. So that to me is the key. You have to get to at least 30 to put stress on that offense. And I think the 49ers will take Super Bowl 58. We're going to bring the 6th Lombardi to the Bay. We're going to have a parade next week, hopefully. I'm going to give a 34-27 Super Bowl win to the 49ers.
There you go. You heard it here first. Carlos Ramirez picking the Niners to get it done. NBC Sports Bay Area 49ers pre and post. You can catch all of the Niners coverage that you could ever want and need on NBC Sports Bay Area and pre and post after and before the big game. Carlos, thank you so much. No Giants talk this time. Just another reason for us to have you on in the spring when it gets going. Take care of yourself, and maybe I'll see you tonight.
Thank you, guys. Great job you guys are both doing in Sacramento. I'm so happy to see good people do good job in a good market. All the best to you, too. Hope to see you tonight there in Vegas and over the weekend. And again, Sacramento, please listen to these two guys. aside from being tremendous analysts and journalists, they're both great people, and that's hard to come by in this business. So appreciate them, listen to them every single day. All the love to you too, and see you soon, guys.
Thank you so much, Carlos. We'll talk to you soon. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins, more guests, more Niners talk, more Super Bowl talk. Sactown Sports live in Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube.
Jiffy Lube, a proud partner of Sactown Sports, is sending Stiles and Watkins on the road to Las Vegas.
Road trip!
Starting Wednesday from 10 to 2, join the guys live from Radio Row as they get exclusive interviews to prep you for the big game.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
It's Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas, all part of our Jiffy Lube road trip on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
The first time I tried to quit vaping, I told myself that it was like a mountain that I had to climb over. And once I got to the other side, it would be clear. But I couldn't make it over. What really got me to quit was my little sister. I saw her vaping. So I was back in the mountain, but this time she was up there with me. It's weird what you can do for others that you won't do for yourself.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of Sactown Sports 1140's road trip to Vegas for the big game. For all the latest game news to all the celebrity interviews from Media Row to all the festivities going on during game week, Sactown Sports has it all covered, just like Jiffy Lube, the place to go before you go on your next road trip. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my friends at Fire Wings talking about Wings Day Wednesday. That's right, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic, 7 dry rub, and 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to watch and enjoy sports with friends. 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Save time. Order online for pickup or delivery. Just go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you. Order online. Earn rewards. Fire Wings. Just wing it.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
My name is Dustin. I'm the head designer for Cody James Black Boots, and this is Behind the Design with Boot Barn. The objective with this new line was basically to create a collection of boots that were going to be elevated, quality made, using the finest materials and craftsmanship available. Some of the key quality construction details that carry throughout the line would be premium cowhide lining, hand-nailed leather soles, and simplistic design. Cody James Black, only at Boot Barn.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2020 Ford half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's try.
This time check is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville. Check them out at KiaVacaville.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Our Stiles and Watkins road trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. For car maintenance from oil changes to tires and brakes, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Now back to more of Stiles and Watkins.
Special thanks to Jiffy Lube for making our road trip to Radio Row possible. Jiffy Lube, a proud sponsor of Sactown Sports. And special thanks to Carlos Ramirez for making me grab some tissues during the break. Very nice words from Carlos Ramirez. And be sure to catch him. Talk about a rise, man. Actually, I did something. You guys meet? Yeah, well, to be honest, I did something on my own YouTube before I was at Sactown Sports. And you can check that out to kind of hear more about his story, how he came up, not starting in America, starting speaking Spanish, and now over here from soccer to baseball, football, some of his challenges. So you can check that out and just hear more about Carlos's story because it's outstanding. Chris, I'm just double checking here because I don't know what's wrong with Vegas, but am I reading this right? The Nuggets are favored by 1.5.
I'm
today.
sorry. Wait.
Is that correct?
Is Nikola Jokic coming here? Is he going to be
I don't know.
Vegas
Yeah,
today?
I don't know.
There's no way. We're gonna have to get our people on that.
I don't get that one.
Yeah, we're a little distracted here with all the stuff we got going on.
Yeah,
maybe
like.
Vegas is a little busy, with all their other stuff going on too, and they're just like, it's fine. I don't know.
Because look,
we
are the Kings flagship. But maybe Vegas is saying this is what the Kings do. Right? They mess around, but then when they get up for good teams, actually based on their record, not really.
Okay.
But maybe
hold on.
Okay.
Now I'm looking at ESPN.com.
Maybe am I looking at the wrong thing?
Yeah, you are. I'm seeing Kings 2.5-point favorites. So I don't know what's going on. We're gonna have to look. We're gonna have to look at injury reports. Something is clearly going on. Like I said, we've got a lot of stuff going on here, and that's actually, to me right there says Kings 2.5-point favorites.
Wow.
So that's telling me. I mean, again, I haven't looked at an injury report yet. Nikola Jokic is clearly at the very least questionable, right?
I would imagine so, or it hasn't come out yet.
Let me see here.
And it will, because that would be something else. But it's also very Kings, as we've been giving people a lay of the land this whole time. And we didn't do too much star watching yesterday because we had so much going on. We did talk about Stephen A. in his purple suit.
Yes.
Okay, walking right by us.
Purple.
We just saw the playmaker Michael Irvin. He had a scrum with Flavor Flav making an appearance. Flavor of Love for all you Flavor of Love fans out there. And it's more chill than yesterday for sure. Yesterday was insane.
It's less hectic for sure.
Yes.
It feels like maybe there's some bigger names floating around here, but definitely overall less people. Did you see that Andy Reid doppelganger walking around?
Yes, and then you nudged me. We were doing an interview, and I thought, does Chris think this? First of all, do I think this is Andy Reid? Does Chris think this is Andy Reid? And he had a PR person. Dude. I mean, this is what I say. If you really want to make it in America, there is something for everyone. I woke up one day, I'm going to be an Andy Reid impersonator, and here you are at Radio Row. With the scrum, you got people taking pictures of a fake Andy Reid. There's no excuse for anybody. You can do something.
It was a 1-for-1 sized replica also is what I would say.
I'm
very concerned that man might be dieting in order to make himself look more and more like Andy Reid. So I hope that's just a situation where somebody told him one day, hey, you kind of look like that Chiefs coach. And not he saw a niche and was like, I think I can fill that.
Speaking of, so I went down to Old Vegas or downtown Vegas last night, and I was hanging out there, and I'm walking along Fremont Street.
Right.
Haven't been in a while. It's definitely weirder than I remember.
Just like more strange people?
Yeah, it was weird. There was a big gorilla, and I'm talking about this dude was probably 15 feet in a big gorilla suit.
Right.
He was dancing. He was doing a lot. And I don't know what is going on, if it's the hot thing. Multiple Chucky impersonators or dressed up like Chucky.
Like Chucky the doll?
The doll. So they got the head and all of that. I saw two of them. I guess that's what's hot in the streets right now. We're on Fremont Street. There were performers. So I forgot how bizarre Fremont Street in Old Vegas.
Yeah, just in general, I mean, you kind of forget. I walked down the strip yesterday, and you just forget how weird this place. It's just so much unlike anywhere else on the planet. It's so unique. Yeah, I guess it's a bit like Times Square. I did see like a poorly constructed Mario and Luigi on the street, hanging out with Spider-Man and stuff.
That's Spider-Man. But here's my thing. And we were talking about going all in. That Andy Reid went all in. I thought it was Andy Reid.
Yes.
That's Spider-Man. We were walking across going to New York.
He's got PJs on.
He's trying to be into the Spider-Verse. He's got a hoodie on. I'm thinking, dude, if you're going to be out there in the cold, you got to buy in and look like Spider-Man. Give me a stance or something. Give me something. If you don't want to be there, then don't be there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on, man.
Someone forcing you to dress up like Spider-Man? What's going on?
And then I just feel like everyone is trying to get off. Like, there's people, I can't tell if they're wearing Super Bowl shirts, but they have, they're like, hey, do you want a sticker? Do you want to take a picture? And I'm like, I feel like this is one of those situations where I think you told the prayer book story on about
you want this prayer book?
Yes.
Okay, and then they take it if you don't give them money.
There's a lot of people. There's guys dressed in monk, like head to toe monk garb.
You don't think they're real?
I don't think so, because it feels to me like they're just trying to peddle out like bracelets.
Yeah.
And they're just like trying to pass it to you, and much like your prayer book, I think it's one of those where they pass it to you without asking. You take it, and then they're like, "Give me $15."
I didn't even say this one.
No.
I didn't even say this one. This happened to me yesterday. So I'm in Golden Nugget, just trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. This guy makes eye contact with me. And he makes eye contact with me, and he literally, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I'm thinking maybe he listens to Sactown Sports. Maybe he's a Kings fan. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're about 10 to 15 feet away from each other. He gives me the head nod, starts walking over towards me. I'm thinking, okay, where is this going?
Yes.
Comes right next to me, and then just points to his pinky, and he's got a gold ring as if do I want to buy a gold ring off? I said, I'm good, buddy. Thank you, though. And he just walked away.
Yeah, I don't like the fact. Yeah, this place is already trying to take so much money away from us. I don't need people on the streets as I'm in between the casinos also trying to take money from me. Vegas it's a different place, man. I'm definitely not looking forward to leaving, but man, I can't wait to get back to Sacramento.
And now that we took a brief respite from some sports, let's get right back into it with our guy, Takeo Spikes, 15-year NFL vet, public speaker, SEC network analyst.
Public speaker.
Thank you so much for joining us. We saw you just finished your own thing.
Yeah.
You coming over here, so we really appreciate that, man. How's it going?
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, bro. You left off one of the most important things.
Okay.
49er?
Creator.
Oh!
Behind the Mask podcast.
Hey,
that's what I was over there. I see it. I'm picking up.
Called the law. There you go.
Yeah, man, we were chopping it up with Elijah Moore.
Oh, awesome.
He's like Elijah, I've never seen you really on mainstream media or on a podcast. He was like, yeah, man, I just kind of stay out of the way. And, once I got the New York stuff behind me, now I'm locked in. So it was good to get his perspective, what he's thinking about, what drives him.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's a little bit what we do on the Behind the Mask podcast.
Yeah.
We just chop it up and talk as if we're just sitting in the locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, the whole thing is now with all this content, you got to be different. So the Behind the Mask podcast, talk about how you're making sure that you are unique from everything out here. And we know, you're doing a great job with it. But for those who may not be listening yet and want to check you out, what differentiates you from everything else that's out there?
I think we're one of the few podcasts you know, a lot of podcasts entertain. But with us, not only do we entertain, but we enlighten.
Yeah.
Inform.
I like that.
We inform, we
It's
educate
different.
people
Yeah.
on the topics. And I immediately think about this one time we did an episode show, and it's about, it makes people uncomfortable. But like using the N-word in the locker room.
Sure.
Wow.
And that's what made this conversation so good. It was between myself and one of my white teammates. And he really wanted to understand, like, why do y'all say it and I can't say it?
Wow.
You know.
Yeah.
But he was coming at it in terms of
education,
educational wise.
educating. Yeah.
A lot of people miss that. Like, oh, so somebody don't tell you what you can and can't say. It ain't about that.
Yeah.
You're not picking up what I'm leaving behind.
Right.
So it was like being able to have a good conversation and candid conversation amongst everybody. This got all 53 guys in the locker room talking, but we all walked away and nobody felt a certain way. He knew how we felt as blacks, culturally, how we use it, and we knew what he meant from just posing the question.
Yeah.
And so a lot of guys walked away from it just saying, like, wow, you know what? I never really looked at it that way.
Yeah.
It's just exposed. Awareness is the beginning of change.
Right.
You can never change if you're not aware
Yeah.
of what you're doing. And that was the conversation was about. And that's what we do on Behind the Mask.
Wow, man, that's dope right there, man.
Yeah,
That's
man.
I'm glad you went to that situation. Well, first of all, we got to dispel something because we didn't ask them, fellas.
I know.
Takeo or Takeo? Let's end it right here.
Yes.
What is it?
Takeo.
Takeo. Okay.
You know,
Takeo.
the pronunciation got it wrong. When you click on it, when you click on it, it says Takeo. She says Takeo. I played it. I don't know who you got to call. I'll show you after. It's
It's crazy. Takeo, I was curious. One of my favorite 30.
He just did.
It's a radio rookie moment right there. Takeo, excuse me, apologies. One of my favorite 30 for 30s is the War Eagle Roll Tide 30 for 30. And of course, that's mainly focusing on the Alabama and Auburn rivalry. You are a main feature in it. You're awesome in it. Give real the intensity of that rivalry. Just what are your thoughts on the fact that a huge figure in that rivalry, Nick Saban, no longer at Alabama?
Really want to know the truth?
Yeah.
I want the behind the mask, the behind the mask answer.
Yes, there you go, Jay. Thank you, super producer Jay. Thank you. That's the way to put it. Keep it clean.
Nick Saban accomplished a lot.
We sure did.
But I am so happy his ass is It was almost like we reached out to the other teams in the SEC and like, all right, dog, we got a shot. But no, man, it's salute to him. He's one of my all-time favorites. Definitely GOAT status. Without even no question.
As Laura Britt walks up and gives some love to Takeo.
I miss Laura. We had some good times doing the shows together, and I still get people hit me up to this day. It's like, hey, man, you think you, Dante, Laura, Joe would get back together?
Man.
I'm like, yeah. On our own dime, probably.
Yeah.
But, man, it was a great experience. But Nick Saban, going back to finish that point, I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my perspective, right? Like, at one point, we beat Bama 4 years in a row.
Right.
But when Nick Saban was hired after that, you know, we got him a couple of times.
Yeah. That can be, man.
He definitely has ran the table on us, more so in recent times. So salute to him, but I'm glad he is gone.
Yeah.
Because now, you know, we got a chance. We got Hugh Freeze. I like some of the moves of what we're doing. I still think we need more pieces to the puzzle, but Hugh is a great recruiter, and I think he's a great talent evaluator. It's only a few coaches, man. If you think about it, it's only a few coaches that you really fall in love with because of the brand, the style of football that they play. Right. You know, and Hugh Freeze is one of those guys.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin is one of those guys. You think about it. Lane Kiffin getting cats from California. Man, who from California in their right mind want to go to Oxford.
Dude, I say it all the time.
But it's
all the
it's
time.
a huge I'm not knocking it.
No,
I'm just
absolutely.
saying it's a huge
testament.
compliment.
Yeah.
It's the brand of style. It's the brand of football,
Yeah.
the style of play that he brings to the table. And that's something Elijah was talking about too. What separates him? What makes him different? So that Nick Saban is in that same different hue.
Yeah.
It's the same person.
Yeah, talking to Takeo Spikes, 15-year NFL vet. Takeo, let's talk about it. That the linebacker core for the Niners, right?
Yeah.
We've had people on. I know you've had people on. I don't know what we'll get to your pick at the end, but your percentage, it's about 80-20. Everybody picking the Chiefs. And I think the Niners, people are being prisoners of the moment because the Niners defense hasn't played great. That Niners defense is being slept on a little bit, especially those linebackers.
Yeah, they are. And rightfully so. I get everybody reservations when it comes to that. Be honest with you, I got a little reservation. But I ain't betting against my boys, though.
That's right.
and I had a lot of my friends saying, "Oh, you're betting with your heart." Well, it starts there. You got to have heart.
Yeah.
But I truly believe we talk about certain coaches bring a style of play. Kyle Shanahan is another coach.
Absolutely.
And so for me, I think this game is really going to be won with his mental mindset, how he approaches the game. I think they need to establish the run and do it early. When I look at Baltimore really let Kansas City off the hook.
Yeah.
With the lack of rushing attempts that they tried or did try. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's one of the things that the 49ers need to get going early. And I think if they can have some success early, the defense will thrive off of that. One thing I can say, what we've seen out of this 49er team, that what we never have seen is usually when they get down in the second half, they're not going to be able to pull it out.
Right.
They've done that numerous times this past year.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the belief that these guys have, and then also just Brock Purdy making plays, man. Like he started off the last game, 5 straight incompletions?
Yeah.
But came back and led them on a win, and he showed something that we had not seen before.
Yeah.
He turned into a scrambler. So for me, that shows the growth of, I know this is supposed to be open on this coverage here. This is where I'm supposed to go. But at times, you got to improvise and make plays, and that's something that he did. So I give him a lot of credit. That's the reason why I'm going with the Niners.
Zakir, before we get your prediction and your prognostication, something I've always wondered and something I've always wanted to ask you, and I haven't had the opportunity. The neck pads, man. You were one of the last of the dinosaurs to wear the neck pads to Brian Cox, man. Why did you rock them?
No, I didn't wear it. But the cowboy collar?
Yeah.
Oh no, that was in college.
I know, but why? Why did you do that? Besides safety, common sense, yeah.
Well, I just saw a lot of my teammates in high school catch stingers.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So I'm looking on TV. This is during my time. Derek Brooks, he rocking the cowboy collar.
Yeah.
You see Brian Cox.
Yes.
Throwing, you know what I'm saying? Just can't really say what I want to say. But, I'm like, all right. All of these are ballers. Marvin Lewis.
Yeah.
Was it No. Played at Florida State. Marvin Shade Tree linebacker won the Buckets Award.
Oh.
He'll come back to me.
Yeah, I want to say Sims, but that's not it.
No. Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones. There you go.
Marvin Jones. So, I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But honestly, I am so glad I did because it keeps you from having the stingers. It keeps you from having neck problems because you got extra support. So,
got you.
And for me, I was already in the weight room anyway doing extra neck exercise. I did not even know my damn neck was that big until I retired.
I gotta tell you something before we get you out.
Straight up, bro.
Well, because we know you picking the Niners, right? When we're doing our research here, Takeo, I type in your name. I just got the Takeo. And you know what comes up Google? The third thing, Takeo Spike's neck. There it comes right on up, man.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. You worked on it. You worked on it.
Earned it. Hey, I tell people, don't blame me for your shortcomings.
That's right. That's right.
It's multi-purpose.
That's right. That's right. Takeo Spikes, thank you so much, man. We know you rocking with the Niners. They get number 6. Check out the Behind the Mask podcast. They are doing sports talk in a unique, different way, and they're enlightening people in each and every episode. Thank you so much, man.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports live from Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube.
The San Francisco 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs. It's Super Bowl 58, live from Las Vegas, Sunday, February 11th on Sactown Sports.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Book your free T-check and free exam at Revive Men's Health Sacramento. Now also offering affordable, cutting-edge weight loss medications. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Join Sactown Sports at Twin Peaks for big game action on over 40 screens. And your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see pop icons The Jacksons at Thunder Valley on March 30th. Don't miss it. Tune in to Sactown Sports broadcast of the big game this Sunday afternoon between San Francisco and Kansas City. Sponsored by Xfinity. Stream your favorite live sports on the next generation Xfinity 10G network.
Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your road trip headquarters.
We are back with Lee Steinberg as we're already getting the conversation started. Super agent, and you are a Berkeley guy, Cal Berkeley.
I am. Spent a lot of time in Sac City studying football.
There you go. Well, let's get right into it as we are discussing being an agent, right? You represent Talanoa Hufanga, unfortunately out for the season. How does one get into being an agent? Obviously, you got to study and become a lawyer, all that jazz. Or maybe when did you know you wanted to be an agent? How did it all unfold for you?
So you got to go back in time.
Okay.
This is my 50th year. So when I started in 1975, I was a dorm counselor in an undergrad dorm at Berkeley, and they moved the freshman football team into the dorm, and one of the students was Steve Bartkowski, the quarterback. He ended up being the very first player picked in the first round of the 1975 draft and asked me to represent him. So there I was, brimming with experience.
Yeah.
And I had the first pick in the draft, and so the way most people would get into it is to start networking, to build a profile for themselves, to either get a job for someone else or to start their own practice. And I always tell people the key study is psychology. You can anticipate human behavior. You can work your way through life gracefully. And listening skills. It's the ability to draw out another human being and cut below the surface so that you understand their deepest anxieties and fears and greatest hopes and dreams. But anyway, this is 50 years for me this year, and tomorrow's my 37th Super Bowl party.
Wow, that's incredible. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned you had a first pick in the draft. I did some research. You had eight number one overall picks, 64 first-round draft picks. I had a question of when did people start coming to you, but it sounds like it started that way. It started with somebody coming to you. How does that kind of work with somebody seeking you out versus maybe you seeking them out?
So in most cases, it's the parents that I'm talking to first. And so in many cases, a father, a mother, or an uncle, someone will reach out and ask if they can talk to me. That doesn't mean I'll necessarily sign that player, but it means that they're interested in doing an interview. And so you lay out a whole plan for what path through the draft, into the sport, role model. So what I'm looking for is young men that are willing to retrace their roots and go back to the high school, collegiate, and professional community and set up programs, charitable foundations. So I had a client, Warwick, a running back, who just put the 200 single mother and her family in the first home they'll ever own by making a down payment.
Right.
Or you have Patrick Mahomes, who's got 15 in the Mahomies, where he helps at-risk kids, kids in hospitals, a whole different group. But these are athletes who understand the profound power they have to make a difference in the world.
Talking to Lee Steinberg, super agent. You just mentioned Patrick Mahomes helped negotiated deals for players including Troy Aikman, Steve Young. As we mentioned, Patrick Mahomes currently representing Talanoa Hufanga. Just to name a few, it is said, right, that you were the inspiration for Jerry Maguire, famous movie. Everybody loves that movie. How did that all unfold?
So Cameron Crowe, the writer-director, had written a book called Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Right.
It was a very funny movie. And he asked me in 1993, could he follow me around to pick up atmosphere for a film that was involved with sports agents.
Wow.
And so he started following me. He went to league meetings that were in Palm Desert that year where I was showing off free agents. He went to the 93 draft where Drew Bledsoe was the first pick, and my client came up to the press conference, went to Pro Scouting Day at USC, came to games with me. And I told him stories, lots and lots of stories. And then he went off and wrote the script. I was also technical advisor, so my job was to make sure to vet the script so that the look, the feel, the dialogue doesn't seem stilted or phony to you.
Kind of bumper rails almost.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he assigned me some of the actors. Gooding Jr. and I went down to the Super Bowl in Phoenix, and I made him pretend he was my wide receiver client for a week. He hung out with Desmond Howard and Monty Toomer. And I actually had to show the quarterback in the film, played by Jerry O'Connell, how to throw a spiral because he had gone to NYU and they didn't have a football program.
Wow.
So it's been 26 years now, and every time I walk through an airport or go out to dinner, someone runs up to the table and either says 4 words to me or asks me to say 4 words.
Yes, of course.
Show me the...
Yes. There
Yep,
you go.
there you
Absolutely. Is there any commonality that you see? I mean, you've had so many greats that you've represented. Is there any commonalities that you find between those legends?
Yes, they all have the ability to compartmentalize, adopt a quiet mind, and respond to crisis and adversity. So you take a quarterback, and the delineation point is franchise quarterback. So
Yeah,
who's that? That's someone you can build around for 10 to 12 years.
Right.
Someone that you win because of rather than with.
Yes.
And ultimately someone who in adversity, thrown a couple interceptions, the crowd is booing, you've got the game getting out of hand. Now what does this player do? Can they compartmentalize, adopt a quiet mind, and elevate their level of play to take a team to and through victory? And that's the key point. If life will push us all back, but can you be resilient?
Yeah.
Can you perform in the moment? And that quality is what you're looking for, which is common.
That's awesome.
Talking to Lee Steinberg, legendary agent. Lee, you've been around for a very, very long time. I got to ask you this, your thoughts in this changing landscape, the NIL. What do you think about it? Are you dabbling in it at all? What are your thoughts on the NIL and the college landscape?
I think it's been the biggest revolution in college sports ever that I've seen. And if you look at the profound changes, conference realignment, I mean, all of a sudden the Pac-12 is Pac-0. And that's a huge change. Gambling in the game is a huge change. And NIL, they created a concept in California. It was actually passed in Sacramento. It was Nancy Skinner, SB something or other. And California passed a law that allowed NIL and the hiring of a marketing director or marketing agent. But now it's being used in recruiting so that you have big universities with active alums who own businesses forming collectives, and they supplement the revenue that can be offered. So now you have a high school player, and you have different colleges offering them different amounts of, well, you come here and you can have $5 million in endorsements. Here we guarantee you $10 million. And the same thing for transfer portal. So it really has created a system where the 4 or 5 big conferences are so elevated compared to the rest that they will sign all the 4, 5, 6-star players.
Right.
And we won't even have an NCAA governing those conferences because they'll do their own negotiations with the networks and they'll set their own rules up.
From a business perspective, what would winning a Super Bowl do for Brock Purdy?
It will take him from being a reasonably well-known player to being a household name. Because what would happen is the quarterback who plays dramatically and wins this game, and I've had Troy Aikman do it, and Steve Young do it, and Ben Roethlisberger do it, goes into the celebrity-making machine we have in this country, which is late-night talk shows, early morning talk shows, People Magazine, and comes out of this game and naming lights. And so I was coming back from Troy Aikman's first Super Bowl that he won back in
Tell Joe he
93.
needed to edit
And we were in the limo, and
Okay.
he said, well, what do you think? I said, well, do you know what just happened? He said, yes, we won the football game. I said, no, you entered the game as Troy Aikman, good quarterback, and you left Troy Aikman, superstar.
Yes. Dallas Cowboys.
And you saw, I don't know about that. And then we got back to the hotel, and he was completely mobbed. He couldn't even get out of the car.
There you go. Lee Steinberg, before we get you out of here, thank you so much for joining us, legendary agent. Do you think Brock Purdy gets it done and enters that new realm of superstardom, or will Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs capture another Super Bowl?
I think this will be a game very similar to what we saw in the playoffs so far, which comes down to the last drive, the last quarter. I think it's going to be very tight. Now, remember, I have totally mixed loyalties to John Lynch was my client as a player. So I have mixed loyalties. I think Kansas City by points.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
you heard it here first. Lee Steinberg, super agent, picking the Chiefs to get it done. Lee, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your time in Vegas.
Thank you very much.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, more guests, more Niners talk. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, live in Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app. It started with 32 teams back in September with one goal. Now we're down to the final two with a chance to earn the coveted Lombardi Trophy.
It's Super Bowl 58 as the Kansas City Chiefs look to go back-to-back while the San Francisco 49ers seek their 6th Super Bowl title.
Super Bowl 58, Sunday at 3:30 on your home for the NFL. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Toyota's President's Day sales event is on. Now is your chance to save big on Toyota's entire lineup of 16 hybrid and electrified vehicles. Don't miss out on the best deals of the year. This President's Day, get low 1.99% APR, plus an incredible $2,500 bonus cash on the all-electric 2023 BZ4X. Hurry in for these President's Day deals and more. Get to your Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS buyers with premium rated credit and 3424.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each.
On these Niners
we care about quality
airwaves,
so much
can
that we
you
do some
confirm-
crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory.
Happen
Millions of guys
on
have already
these
made the
Niners
switch to Harry's.
airwaves. Can
So
you
thank you if you're one of
confirm
them.
that the
And if you're not,
Niners
we
broke
hope you
the
give us a
Eagles?
try soon. Harry's is available online and in-store at a retailer near you. Get a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/news. That's harrys.com/news. Or check us out at your local Costco for a price you can't find anywhere else. Just look for the Chrome Razor with 13 blade
on
refills at
these
your local Costco. You can't miss it. Exclusive to Costco members.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Tires and brakes, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Now back to more of Stiles and Watkins.
Joining us here, hear our conversation with former morning show talk show host Mike Golick.
happened on these Niners airwaves. Can you confirm that the Niners broke the Eagles?
I mean, isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah.
Here's
Crazy.
a team that was 10 points up in the Super Bowl, right? And now a couple of years later, they're going to be on their third O coordinator and third D coordinator. In that amount of time. It's stunning because even when they were 10-1, we were wondering they don't look like the team that was in the Super Bowl. But we were also saying that about Kansas City,
Right.
when they went through some troubles during the year. And then I think it's a lot of it started, quite honestly, when they didn't bring back some DBs, didn't bring back some linebackers, let them all go. I think their cap number at linebacker was so far under the average in the league. So it's like they didn't really fill that position. And then on top of all that, those guys got hurt. DBs got hurt. Now your back seven is injured. You change from Desai at calling defensive plays. You put him up on the booth. You let Matt Patricia start calling. You really started changing things. And I think it kind of steamrolled on him. And we know football is a physical game, but it can get to you mentally when things aren't going well. Now you kind of end up on the sideline going, what's going to happen next? What's the next shoe to drop? So I'm still amazed that, again, they're going with new coordinators. Maybe it showed you how important Gannon and Steichen were when they were there and how much they're missed.
Yeah, and on the other side of the matchup, the Niners, they kind of built their defense around their defensive line, taking one of the Eagles, Javon Hargrave, to their own side.
Been huge.
How much do you just love being a former defensive lineman? How much do you love that style of player, that team building?
So what I like about them, if you're going to be a top team, you got to have depth on your D-line. Unlike the O-line that plays the same five, for
Every
80
snap,
plays, and they have to watch D linemen roll in, on fresh legs. So San Francisco can do. You get Eric Armstead back as well. I called the Green Bay game, the playoff game there, where both these playoff games didn't start out well, especially the Detroit game. And Brock was really off in that Green Bay game, just missing whether it was the ball was slippery, whether he just had an off game, whether it was, he had 19 days off because didn't play in week 18. Whatever the reason was, they didn't play well, but were able to come back and win. And I talked to Trent Williams earlier this week, and I said, what the hell happened? I said, listen, I've been in locker rooms where it doesn't go well in the first half. I said, what went on in the locker room at halftime of Detroit? I said, was there a whole lot of, words spoken and helmets flung? He said, amazingly enough, it was really quiet because we knew we got our asses kicked. There was nothing we could do about that. Right. And Fred Warner said the same thing. All we said was offense, when you get the ball, score. Defense, we got to stop them. I mean, football can look like rocket science, and it will in this game because the amount of motion we're going to see with both KC and San Francisco, and especially on Kansas City side, defense players playing up, 6 at the line, but only 4 come going for confusion. But the bottom line is, it's a game of one-on-ones. When Christian McCaffrey catches a little swing pass, he's going to have one guy in front of him to start right at the line of scrimmage. Who wins that battle? Does the defender make the tackle, or does Christian McCaffrey shake him? When Brandon Ayuk catches a slant or Deebo Samuel catches a slant, is he going to get tackled right away, or is he going to go for an extra 10 yards? These are the one-on-one situations that are the reason the game is won and lost.
Talking to Mike Golick, host of Gojo and Golick on DraftKings Network, also sideline reporter for Westwood One. So we're going to try to ask this in a different way because you got your own show, so you're on the other side right now. Are you willing to say that Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback in the league right now?
I don't know how you can't. He statistically had a better year than Mahomes, had one of the best seasons as a quarterback, for compared to other quarterbacks. So much is laid on the fact of the talent that he has. I say it this way for people when you watch a game. Since Kyle has been there, I believe they're number one in the league in yards after the catch when I just talked about short passes. First off, Brock doesn't just do that. He leads the league in yards downfield. So throws the ball downfield. But when you throw a swing pass and you want yards after the catch, that ball's got to be perfect. If that ball's behind the running back, he ain't getting yards after the catch. When you throw a slant, if that ball's low or behind, you're not getting yards after the catch. So it's not just a completion. Is it a good completion that gives your receiver a chance to continue running with the ball?
They need a metric for that.
They do, because it is just people watch it in the game. Watch how the short passes are caught and how the receivers can continue with the ball. Brock is great at that. And then, listen, everybody heard Cam Newton say he's the 10th best player on the team. And you can debate because, listen, San Fran has a lot of great players. No doubt about it. They have the best roster in the league. But when he said he can't be a game changer when you're the 10th best player, I completely disagree with that. He has the ball in his hand every single play. As I said, I called the Green Bay game. I thought that pass over the middle of Juwan Jennings on the big third down play. Where Juwan climbed the ladder and got that. So he can make those plays. He can put the ball where it needs to be, but he does have great receivers. But so what? There are other players, teams that have great receivers and great pieces of the puzzle as well. He's a great point guard that can dish it out. Two things: game manager and analytics are F words in football, right?
Right.
And they're so misunderstood, both of them.
Mike, I'm curious to get your thoughts on, not that it's looked incredible, especially this season, but what's impressed you most about the post-Tyreek Hill era of this Chiefs team?
Well, did they find somebody, right? You have the staple in the Hall of Famer, Travis Kelce, right? You struck gold, just like San Francisco struck gold with Brock Purdy. You struck gold with Isaiah Pacheco.
That's true,
that
right?
dude is a mean runner. And he's a 7th rounder, right? So you struck gold with that. You made some nice move getting some O-line. Remember Trey Smith, the right guard. Remember before he started, they brought in Kyle Long to be that guy. And Kyle Long got hurt. Trey got the start right away and has developed into a fantastic player. And then it was like, okay, who do we get at the wide receiver position? That's where we were wondering, what are they going to do? Rashee Rice takes over. But remember, they led the league in drops with 33 as well. So it's and then a big plus to a guy who walks into the Hall of Fame as well, and that's Andy Reid. Andy Reid is one of the great coaches we've seen in this league.
Talking to Mike Golick and somebody trying to get over the hump that Andy Reid had in Philly, that Super Bowl victory, Kyle Shanahan. Do you think Kyle Shanahan gets it done? We need your Super Bowl pick on Sunday. Who wins?
I can't pick because I'm calling the game.
Okay.
So
there you go.
I got to be
That's
professional and doing that. But I will say, I think the most pressure is on Kyle and John Lynch. Because they have put together the best roster. They especially John, you're living off the stain of you took Trey Lance and gave up assets for him, and that blew up in your face. So when you miss on a quarterback, it hurts. But made up for it, obviously, with Brock Purdy and has the best roster, but you got to get the payoff. You can't have the best roster for a couple of years and then not end up at the top of the mountain. So to me, that's where the pressure is.
Mike Golick, thank you so much. This has been outstanding. Chris and I, we listened to you for years. Continue doing what you're doing. Catch him on Westwood One, sideline reporting, host of Gojo and Golick on DraftKings Network. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your time in Vegas.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it,
Mike. All righty, got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Young and sacked by Eric Armstead.
Sactown Sports is your home for San Francisco 49ers football.
San Francisco!
It started with 32 teams back in September with one goal. Now we're down to the final 2 with a chance to earn the coveted Lombardi Trophy.
It's Super Bowl 58 as the Kansas City Chiefs look to go back-to-back while the San Francisco 49ers seek their 6th Super Bowl title.
Super Bowl 58, Sunday at 3:30 on your home for the NFL. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
And I'm David Figueroa. Over 30 years ago, my brother Greg and I set out on a mission to offer the world a better hot sauce.
That's right, David. We made Melinda's thicker, hotter, and better than ordinary hot sauces.
And now we have 32 exciting and delicious sauces that hot sauce fans are obsessed with, like our ghost pepper sauce, our Thai sweet chili, and our best-selling black truffle hot sauce.
Melinda's also has 5 spicy ketchups made with real sugar and no added junk like high fructose corn syrup. People ask David and I, what makes Melinda so good? That's easy. We think like chefs do. Instead of burning someone with hot peppers and vinegar, we use fresh plant-based ingredients and the finest chili peppers perfectly blended to set your mouth on flavor.
Go to melindas.com to find our line of craft condiments at Walmart and other fine retailers. And right now, get 20% off our award-winning sauces with code SPORTS at melindas.com. That's melindas.com. melindas.com.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Start your 2024 grilling season right with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. It's incredible. Napoleon Prestige grills Versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of Sactown Sports 1140's road trip to Vegas for the big game. For all the latest game news to all the celebrity interviews from Media Row to all the festivities going on during game week, Sactown Sports has it all covered, just like Jiffy Lube, the place to go before you go on your next road trip. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought him. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, or Vacaville.
It was 1879 when the first President's Day was established, and it's been a holiday ever since. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. I'm guessing when the Keys family opened the first Naturewood Home Furnishing store in 1948, a President's Day sale was not top of the mind. But the family probably celebrated the holiday with a picnic and a big slice of cherry pie. The store name Naturewood was selected to reflect the quality of the wood furniture for sale. And that focus on quality continues today with brands like Flex Steel, Trailway, Stickley, Fusion Designs, Stanton, and many, many more. The Naturewood Home Furnishings President's Day sale is the perfect time for you to find the right accent piece for your living room, a new bed for your bedroom, or to completely refurnish your entire home. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's President's Day sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water reel.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your road trip headquarters.
Oil changes, tire rotations, your overall car maintenance, think Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube is the place to take your car for your next road trip. Jiffy Lube, proud sponsor of Stiles Watkins Radio Row road trip to Las Vegas, joined by Dean Blandino, football rules analyst, Fox Sports, NFL, NCAA. Dean, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So let's start here. How often do they throw to you and you're still trying to figure out what exactly the ball should be?
Oh my God, yeah. More than you think. Because you might have 4 or 5 games going on. And so I'm watching a play in Detroit and they're like, hey, we got to play in San Francisco. And they're going to bring you on, and I might get one look at it, or sometimes I'm looking at the camera, and when you see me on the screen, just below the camera, there's a monitor, and I'm kind of trying to look at the camera, but I'm also looking at the play, trying to formulate my own opinion.
Yeah.
And so it's a challenge sometimes.
how did that transition go? I mean, referee to broadcaster really doesn't seem like a natural second career path.
It wasn't, and my colleague at Fox Sports, Mike Pereira, he was the first guy that had this vision.
Yeah.
And
Sacramento guy.
Stockton.
Get better. He had a back surgery.
He did have back surgery. He's doing much better.
Awesome.
So he had this kind of this vision, and now it's evolved into this critical role. But it's not, my experience at the league office. We used to do this segment on NFL Network, and I would do it with Dan Hellie, and we would talk about officiating. And so it gave me a little bit of experience.
Dip your toes in.
And I was like, hey, this is kind of cool. I like this. And then obviously I ended up, doing it for Fox.
Talking to Dean Blandino, football rules analyst. Dean, I want to get to the defensive side of the ball, but I gotta first discuss fumbling out of the end zone. If you are a Raider fan, look, Derek Carr's going to catch a straight here, but he's doing it all the time in Oakland and Las Vegas. The fumbling out of the end zone. What do you think about it? Everybody says get rid of it. Yeah. Some people say, look, you got to know there has to be a penalty. You can't just roll the ball out of the end zone. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that rule?
I like the rule where it is. I think the end zone's different. I think ball security. Look, the game is predicated on gaining yardage. The closer you get to the goal line, the more precious that yardage is. The goal line, obviously, if you get the ball in the end zone, your opponent's end zone, it's a touchdown. If you don't and you fumble and the ball is dead in the end zone, that's going to be a touchback. So I like the rule. I get it. I understand people, think it's punitive. I just think the end zone's different. We have different rules for the end zone, and I like the rule where it is.
Dean, maybe this is an ignorant question, but do you talk with NBA refs or MLB umpires to just kind of, I'm sure there's not many people who can sympathize with a lot of the things that you guys go through.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think there's the National Association of Sports Officials. They work with all officials at all levels, and they actually have these seminars and these meetings with different leadership from the different sports.
Yeah.
And because the games may be different, but the issues are the same when it comes to officiating. So I've got a lot of friends that are whether they're umpires or NBA referees, and you're always communicating with them and getting their take on how they handle things. And so that collaboration is really important.
Talking to Dean Blandino, football rules analyst, Fox Sports, NFL, and NCAA. I guess I'm just the part of the interview where I'm just getting into the nitty-gritty of the different rules as they stand. Pass interference. Yeah. Your feelings on it, in college is a little bit different. Right. Dean, sometimes you get to the end of the game, and it's just a good game plan to just have the quarterback chuck it up, maybe throw it a little bit short. Oh, the wide receiver tries to go back, and now you're marching down the field.
You do see a lot on these underthrown footballs, and that's a big deal because in the NFL, obviously, it's a spot foul. You're talking about 30, 40 yards. Yeah. And I do, the concern has always been if you went to the college rule, then you're really incentivizing the defensive backs to play more aggressively, and you might get more intentional fouls. You might hamper the deep passing game.
Right.
So I kind of see both sides of it, but I do think there is that defender's in such a tough spot when they're in good position, but the ball's a little bit underthrown, and now the receiver comes back for it, and I just happen to make that contact. And I think that's where they're always telling the defenders, we always say, you got to be playing the ball, right? You got to be playing the ball, and then you're okay, even if there is contact.
Dean, I'm curious. I saw a tweet the other day. I think it was from CBS saying they're going to have 165 cameras in operation for this year's Super Bowl. How does that impact instant replay or just officiating in general?
Yeah, it has a major impact on replay because obviously with a normal broadcast on a Sunday, an early window game, you might have 12 cameras, right?
Really?
You might have 15 cameras.
So now 160.
Yeah, and maybe not all 165 are actually shooting the game.
Right,
we're going to have a Taylor Swift camera. We know that, right? But you're going to have more information to sift through, so that takes longer when they're going to replay reviews. So I think one of the kind of the things about replays, they might take a little longer because they have more cameras to go through.
Talking to Dean Blandino, football rules analyst, Fox Sports, NFL, NCAA. Dean, we have so many people on. We're talking about who's going to win the game, Chiefs, Niners. Do we talk enough about, or do you feel like, I know we've seen you, thank you for being on the show, you've done a ton of hits.
All over.
Do we talk enough about how much teams are penalized when we're breaking down these teams? You talk about the defense, the offense. What about how much these teams are penalized?
Yeah, no doubt. And that's one of the things that teams scout the officials, right?
Yes,
and the officials scout the teams, and if the officials that are going to work the Super Bowl, they've already been looking at game film. They've been looking at Niners game film. They've been looking at Chiefs game film. They've been looking for tendencies. They've been looking at all these different things, and you're looking, do the Chiefs, where are they in the defensive secondary in terms of defensive pass interference and defensive holding? What about the offensive line, that play? You're always looking for those trends, those types of things. So the officials are scouting. They're looking at film to get ready for the game on Sunday.
Yeah, and then Nick Bosa had those comments the other day about
we're all going.
We all made eye contact with each other.
Nick knows what he's doing.
Does that actually impact the game?
You're going to hear that. And look, the officials, it's not like they're sitting in a cave somewhere without any social media. So they hear that stuff. But at this level, look, they're going to go out and officiate the game. And if it's a hold, it's a hold. They're not going to call it because Nick Bosa said that he gets held. They're going to call it based on what they see. And that happens during the game a lot. Like, I'm sure there's going to be a play early on where he's going to tell the umpire, hey, they're holding me. And that, it's not just Nick Bosa. Of
course.
All defensive players do that.
Yeah, some of the overcorrection that happens, especially with the roughing the passer, that's been another hot topic. Talking to Dean Blandino, NFL rules analyst, NCAA as well, Fox Sports. I've said this, Dean. I've been very open on this show, and we are authentic. I'm not going to change now just because you're here. Some of these guys, all right, one of these guys might be playing in the Super Bowl, and it's not Brock Purdy. These roughing the passer calls, it's Dean. We talk Kings, we talk NBA. There's a little bit of
ref talking about.
Ref, help me.
At
Did
a
you see
picture
that?
of him right there.
Ref, help me. Is it a little bit much? Come on, give me something here.
It's interesting that we had this my entire time at the NFL. There was always that where Tom Brady gets all the calls, or Peyton Manning gets all the calls, and then you look at the numbers. And it's not, although with Mahomes, I think he only drew one roughing the passer call during the regular season, but I think he's had 3 or 4 in the postseason. Look, the referees, they don't look at who the player is. They're just trying to get it right. They know, because there isn't a profession, I can't think of a profession out there that gets scrutinized more than officials. Like in the moment, you could have a call overturned by replay. You have all the fans, all the coaches, all the players, all the media, everybody watching the game. They get evaluated. So, look, there's always going to be that. Look, I grew up in New York. I grew up a Knicks fan. You couldn't tell me that Michael Jordan didn't get preferential treatment, right? So I get it. I understand. But at this level, they're just trying to call the game the best they can.
How do they end up, what's the process of choosing the referees for the Super Bowl? I assume it's kind of you're trying to get the best of the best,
the best
right?
officials. They all evaluated. They all get graded during the season. And at each position, you have the top officials at each position. They have to have a minimum of 5 years experience in the league to get the assignment. And then they're chosen to, to work the game. What's interesting about this crew, Bill Vinovich, the referee, he's worked 3 Super Bowls. The last Super Bowl he worked was Super Bowl 54, the Niners and the Chiefs.
Wow.
And the umpire, Terry Killens, is the first person to play in a Super Bowl and officiate a Super Bowl. He played for the Titans.
Incredible.
So it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Talking to Dean Blandino, rules analyst. Dean, before we get you out of here, who you got on Sunday?
Oh man, I am hoping that my phone, nobody wants to interview me on Monday.
Yes.
I know that's all I care about. That's all I care about.
Right.
It's quiet.
There you go. Fair enough. Dean Blandino, thank you so much. Football rules analyst. Enjoy the rest of your time in Vegas.
Guys. Thanks for having
Dean.
me.
Awesome.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs. It's Super Bowl 58, live from Las Vegas, Sunday, February 11th on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Partly sunny conditions expected with light north winds. Highs today in the mid-50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Our Stiles and Watkins road trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. For car maintenance from oil changes to tires and brakes, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Now back to more of Stiles and Watkins.
Special thanks to Jiffy Lube for making our road trip to Radio Row possible. Jiffy Lube, a proud sponsor of Sactown Sports. Thank you to Dean Blandino. You know, I got to say something, Chris.
Yeah.
Dean Blandino was outstanding.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've ever talked about this before. The ref, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it with Dean. He's literally doing another interview right now. The ref you suck chant makes me very uncomfortable.
Also,
it makes me uncomfortable.
I feel like you're going to get less calls.
Probably right. Yeah. Like if
Dean would never admit that,
right.
but if you're saying you suck, they're going to be like, okay, Sacramento.
Well, why would a ref say, thank you for telling me that I suck? Now I will help you.
I'm definitely going. You know what? I feel pressure. I think fans think, oh, I'm putting pressure on him to make us feel better. But the human element would tell you the complete opposite, that, no, you're telling me I suck. Well, I definitely don't want to help you guys out.
Exactly.
You forget they're human almost, because it is such a robotic job. Yeah. And for the most part, it's pretty clear cut with the job. Yeah. But then when you get to those gray areas, it gets ugly.
Yeah. Well, at least for football, they're all further away. Basketball, they're right up in your grill.
Right
and I don't even know if they probably do the ref you suck chant in football, but it's harder to galvanize everybody together. But Nate has some pretty interesting info that he just came across. Nate just doing his own super producer thing. By the way, shout out to Kyle. So we got 3 super producers taking us through to get through the rest of this time in Vegas. So Nate, what did you find out?
I was talking to a guy. I guess I'm not going to drop a source or anything, but I saw a picture of the 49ers field.
They're practicing like the
they're practicing at UNLV.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, the Niners are practicing at UNLV, and the Chiefs are at the Vegas Stadium, or the Raiders Stadium, which UNLV is kind of like a mile off the strip, behind the strip. They practice on turf, but the NFL showed up beforehand, and they set up a natural field, natural grass. Niners show up, say the field's horrible Sunday night. They're complaining about it. There's a rating system, and I guess essentially it needs to be at 70 to be adequate for practice. Some reports were saying it was at 50. These are all just vague numbers that you're kind of hearing reported on. But I just saw a picture of the field, and it was a sunny day, so it rained here through Tuesday. Tuesday night we came. Saw a little bit of water yesterday morning, so probably some drip. It's wet air, which is weird in Vegas. I've never been a part of that, but the field had a giant seam in it, and you could tell it was dipping. You could tell parts of it. If you stepped on it, you would slush through that. It would be ugly for sure.
Now, when you say dipping, you mean like it's almost like the sidelines meet?
No, well, it was the middle of the field. So, like, they filled a patch. And you could see where the fill was, obviously, and you could see that there was almost like I'm thinking like Moses parting the Red Sea. There was like a part. It's not that big, but that's kind of the only comparison I could make for that. And also, there was an alleged theory. I didn't even tell you guys this yet. This guy I was talking to has heard that the Niners were kind of supposed to not talk about it anymore. Like, it was supposed to be brushed under the rug. Yeah. So then you also have the alarm going off the other night, which if you haven't heard about that, the fire alarm went off. And
6 a.m.
A lot of words.
Wake up.
A lot of words about that yesterday, as yesterday was kind of the final press for the 49ers. But I'm not trying to make excuses or anything. This is just things that are happening.
Look, you don't hear anything happening on the Chiefs side.
No, nothing's happened.
Yeah.
Nothing's happened. It's
been a quiet week from them.
So far, no one's been caught out doing anything.
Right.
You know, you're not supposed to gamble. You're not supposed to.
Yeah, that's true.
They are staying about 30 minutes from the strip. I went there last night. I got to talk to Ronnie Bell. Put that on YouTube.
Yes.
Got to do some interviews with
that
people.
out.
But, man, it's just, it's. I think it might be fuel to the fire for them.
So you were talking to the guys yesterday. Yeah, you said you talked to Ronnie. Did they seem extra excited at all? They seem pretty chill by all this.
I think they're all in. You know, they're already in the groove.
Yes,
like you could tell. The setup is, I guess, kind of a little pull back the curtain how it works. It's very weird, in my opinion. It's all the stars are at their booths, and like Brock, Javon Hargrave,
CMC.
Drake Greenlaw. All those guys get their own booth where they talk to people. And then everybody else on the team is sitting in like a cafeteria table kind of setup. So you just go in and you just go up and talk to them. You just do whatever you want. So that's kind of how I spoke to Ronnie Bell. I did go up to Dre Greenlaw, ask him a couple questions about like how motivated he is against a guy like Pacheco who runs so hard, if that motivates him to, you know, just like that like bloodlust attack. And he was just like, man, I want to take everyone out. So, but going there, I think everyone's in the motions and they're chill about it. Everyone's already settled. It's that was day 4 yesterday, day 5. And I mean, media is over. You had the awards last night with CMC winning offensive player. But I mean, then I think they're ready to go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Alan, we've been talking a lot about how, I mean, you've been on it. The Niners really do have like the more hunger for this game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with this field issue and with the alarm, it might be your first initial thought might be, wow, what distractions. But I kind of in a weird way feel like that brings you even closer and makes you focus up even more as a team.
That's what they're saying too.
Yeah.
They're saying that.
And honestly, just from the clips that I've seen, and our show is not the outlier. Everybody, look, I get on Niner fans about wanting to be the underdog,
right?
And whatever about Vegas and the lines. Everybody is picking the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody's picking the Chiefs in part because of how the Niners got there versus how the Chiefs got there. But everybody is picking.
Can I
the Chiefs.
clarify though?
We got to get to a break. We'll talk about it when we get back.
No clarity.
We will get the clarity. That's a tease right there.
All right.
When we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports live from Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube.
Jiffy Lube, a proud partner of Sactown Sports, is sending Stiles and Watkins on the road to Las Vegas.
Road trip!
Starting Wednesday from 10 to 2, join the guys live from Radio Row as they get exclusive interviews to prep you for the big game.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
It's Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas, all part of our Jiffy Lube road trip on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-952-1155. That's 800-952-1155.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Tune in to Sactown Sports broadcast of the big game this Sunday afternoon between San Francisco and Kansas City. Sponsored by Xfinity. Stream your favorite live sports on the next generation Xfinity 10G network.
Right now, the sewer system is probably the last thing on your mind. And that's okay, because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. If you have a sewer problem like a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the newly designed Callaway Chrome Tour line of golf balls, offering outstanding tour performance. From cover to core, Chrome Tour is the new gold standard tour ball for players who want the best in distance and feel. Chrome Tour is engineered for outstanding performance with exceptional speed, consistent flight, incredible spin, and greenside control. Ask about the full line of Callaway Chrome Tour golf balls at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo, with Bradley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. One-day tickets are on sale now, starting at $46, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by Hobler Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the hot new Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke line of drivers, fairways, hybrids, and iron sets that are sweeter from every spot. AI Smoke is designed with thousands of real player data and a revolutionary new AI Smart Face for sweet spots across the entire face. Ask about the full line of Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke woods and irons and find your sweet spot at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Join Sactown Sports at Twin Peaks for big game action on over 40 screens. And your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see pop icons The Jacksons at Thunder Valley on March 30th. Don't miss it.
Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your road trip headquarters.
Sactown Sports Road Trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by our friends at Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a road trip, visit Jiffy Lube for all your automotive maintenance needs. Jiffy Lube is your road trip headquarters. Joined by Craig LeBlanc, QB guru. I mean, if there is a dude spinning it in the league, Craig probably knows him. Craig's probably worked with them. Craig, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, guys.
Let's start here. You set it off. The air. Let's talk about it on the air. It's a hot topic. It's not as hot now as the Niners. They got Brock Purdy. We'll get into Brock. Yeah. But Trey Lance now in Dallas. See a couple reports. You know how it is, social media. Don't know what's true, what's not. But he is right now backing up at basically third string in Dallas. Talk to us about Trey Lance and his development and what a team that's possibly looking for. We saw a lot of random dudes throw footballs in the NFL. And I'm sitting here thinking, you telling me Trey can't get in somewhere? Talk about Trey Lance a little bit.
Yeah, Trey's a phenomenal human being. One, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Two, he's a great football player, and I think that what a lot of people are going to finally see is when he does get that opportunity, he's going to take full advantage of it.
Yeah.
He's progressing extremely well. Jeff Christensen, his quarterback trainer, is phenomenal. He works with Patrick, works with everybody too. So his footwork has gotten incredible. His spin rate has gone up. He's really, really spinning the ball well. And I think that was one of the things that kind of led to a little bit of inaccuracy for him.
Right.
But he's corrected everything. And as of last week, before I left, Trey was spinning the thing.
So you saw him last week?
Yes. Yeah, I see him every week. We're in the lab. I've got him throwing to guys like Terrence Williams, former Dallas Cowboy, Seth Green, another former Dallas Cowboy. So there's a lot of opportunity there. I'm not sure what's going to happen with him as far as whether he's going to stay in Dallas or somebody else is going to come get him.
Right.
But whoever does come get him is going to be very happy with what they get.
You were kind of briefly explaining to us off air as well about what your role really is with Trey and his development, and more so really the logistics side of it. Can you just explain what exactly it is that you do for these guys?
Absolutely. So people like to call me like an extension cord, right?
Okay.
So my purpose in life, I believe that God put me on earth to be an asset, be a resource, and be a light.
Yeah.
So Two Live Culture, what it's about is providing open doors and opportunities. So, a guy like Trey will come to town when he was in San Francisco, obviously. Jeff will call me and say, hey, we need some receivers. You got some guys. And there are a bunch of guys that I work with on the receiver side, and I just bring them and we get the work in. So making sure that guys like him, guys like Dak will call me and say, I need to, do you have any guys that are in town? CD and the gang are out of town. I'll bring people over to Dak's house. We'll get in the backyard and get to work.
That's
so,
awesome.
There's a lot of different pieces that I have consulting wise and different things that I do for them, making sure that everything's set up with their agents. If they need a new agent, they're looking for somebody to come help them. That's kind of what we do, what we operate off of. So, man, I feel like I kind of do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And,
Awesome. Yeah. And I was
it's just a blessing.
I was doing some research on what you got going on.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Two Live late night crew.
Yes, so that's kind of what really jumped it all off, man. We started. Dez and I were getting together. We were throwing. I was throwing for Dez Bryant, and we just started getting one-on-ones going. And we got into SMU. I had some people that were there, and they were like, "Hey, you guys can use the facility a couple nights a week." So we were like, "All right, cool." So we started going in there. We were getting DBs coming in. And then we got high school, college, pros, everybody coming in. We had Juju Smith-Schuster pull up. We had who else? Lance Lenore. We had Noah Brown, Laquan Treadwell. All these different guys that were coming and just getting work in every week, and we're merging the pros with the high school and the middle school kids, and they're mentoring the guys like directly on the field. Like we're in between a rep, and you got a guy like Laquan Treadwell or Dez talking to one of the young kids like, hey man, when you get off the line, this is what you got to do. When you get to the top of the route, this is what you got to do. Like certain things where, it's just, it's a brotherhood of love. It's a brotherhood of love.
Yeah. Talking to Craig LeBlanc, QB guru, and maybe I'll just let you do it because you said it so beautifully the first time, and I feel like I'm not doing it enough justice. Let's talk a little bit about Brock Purdy, and I want to get your opinion on what we've been using the term, and I'm sure you've heard it, draftism with Brock, and why people don't want to give him his flowers. I'm sure you've been asked about Brock. What do you think scouts thought was missing with Brock? And because when you look at him, I mean, he just threw the deep ball, the fluke to Ayuk off his helmet. He's running. He's doing all these different things. Not the biggest guy in the world, but he's also not small, right? So what do you think that scouts thought was missing? He went to a Power 5. What was missing?
I don't know. I can't speak to what I think people would think. But when you look at a guy like that, he's quiet. He doesn't have that quarterback, I'm the guy kind of attitude, or he didn't anyways. Maybe he does now. But he has the tangibles and he has the intangibles, right? He is an incredible leader. And he does know how to make plays happen.
Right.
So I'm not really sure. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of times I look at guys that don't get opportunities and I'm like, what on earth? Like, what did you miss here?
Right.
There's a lot of guys that are out there that are just extremely talented, just not getting opportunities for whatever reason. So, Brock's mechanically sound. He knows how to play the game. He's got a super high football IQ.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, when they talk about game manager, right? Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
You're supposed to play the game to win, and he knows how to make plays if he needs to. If the pocket breaks down or if the play breaks down, he knows what to do. He's going to find a way to get the job done. He's going to find a way to get the yards he needs to get to. So, I think it's just it's kind of a crazy world that we're in,
You see Lamar win MVP yesterday. I mean, we Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl last year. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, just what he does. What do you see as like the future of the quarterback position? What does it look like? Because for so long it was the pocket passer, and then you could be a runner, but that's kind of almost a completely separate style of quarterback, and you can't win with those kind of guys, is what we were told. Seems like that's not the wave anymore.
Well, see, and this is the crazy thing about it, right? If you look at the history of the quarterback position through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the game has changed.
Yeah.
Right? From the 90s to the 2000s, the game changed, right? The 90s to 2000s, early 2000s, you had the dual threat, right? So the dual threat pops in. Now you've got the guys that can just make magic happen. And I feel like the way that athletes are being trained now, the way that athletes are becoming stronger and faster and more agile bodies. I mean, you look at the way Patrick was able to bend last week, right? The pliability of his bones and his tendons and his ligaments. It's just you're finding that the game is evolving. The position is evolving because the game changes. So as the game changes, and we've got a lot more, you got running backs now that are doubling as wide receivers, or receivers that are doubling as running backs. In the 90s and 2000s, you didn't see that. It just wasn't a thing. Guys like a Tavon Austin, one of the greatest people I've ever met. Way early, way ahead of his time. Now would be a phenomenal guy to have on your squad, right? You can use him in so many different ways.
There's so many guys like that. We had Troy Smith on yesterday.
You see what I'm saying?
And he said, man, if I was just born a couple years later.
It's just the way the game continues to evolve. 10 years from now, we're going to be talking about the quarterback position completely different than it is today. And in the receiver position, probably. I mean, you think about it now, there's no fullbacks. Where the fullbacks go? They just disappear. They just fell off the earth. Offenses are not using fullbacks anymore for the most part. I think it's just evolution, man. The game changes. We as humans continue to evolve.
Get better.
These kids nowadays, I've got a 7th grader that I believe is going to be a first rounder. Like I'm not even kidding you. I've had guys pro guys look at him and be like, "Whoa, this kid is special." Man. Logan Lucero. Don't forget the name. I promise you, in a couple of years, he's going to be a first-round draft pick.
Wow.
Yes.
There you go. Heard it here first. Craig LeBlanc, thank you so much for joining us, man. Before you get out of here, you got to give us a pick. Who you got winning on Sunday?
Chiefs all day, baby.
Chiefs all day.
I can't bet against 15.
That is what everybody is saying right now. Craig, thank you so much, man. Not just for what you do in football, but just your aura. Right, you just bring a light the way that you came over here. It was a great conversation, and I'm gonna need one of those jackets.
I don't know if our YouTube audience is
you looking fresh too.
Oh my goodness!
That's right. Thank you
Shout
so
out
much,
to Pro
man.
Standard for the drip right here.
There you go. There you go. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles Watkins live from Las Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
Harrison Barnes plays here.
Harrison Barnes drives it, hammers it. The Black Falcon soaring into the night sky on a Monday evening in Northern California.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sactown Sports road trip to Vegas to cover the big game is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your place to take your car before your next road trip.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Maida Subaru says yes during the huge President's Day sales event on Now. Yes to financing as low as 1.9%. Yes to awesome lease offers. Yes to great trade-in values. Yes to huge selection of new and certified pre-owned Subarus in stock ready to go. Outback, Forester, Crosstrek, Ascent, WRX, and more. All with huge Maida Says Yes savings. The President's Day sales event is on. Stop by Maida Subaru today or visit MaidaSubaru.com and click the Unlock Maida Says Yes savings button to unlock your savings on the card you want today. Whatever you choose, you're going to save big during the President's Day sales event on Now at Maida Subaru. Yes to financing as low as 1.9%. Yes to attractive lease offers. Yes to exceptional trade-in values. Yes to great selection. Over 300 new and certified pre-owned Subarus available. The huge President's Day sales event on Now at Maida Subaru. MaidaSubaru.com.
Approved premium credit 1.9 financing on new 2024 outbound.
We are back.
Shop can't miss deals on appliances this President's Day at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $75 on every $700 all major appliances, like LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances. Shop in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 2/28. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. Enjoy over 80 table games, the hottest slot machines, and our thrilling high limit room. Plus, with Sky River rewards that add up and up, and 17 bars and restaurants to experience. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense. It can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Our Stiles and Watkins road trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. For car maintenance from oil changes to tires and brakes, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Now back to more of Stiles and Watkins.
We are back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. Special thanks to Jiffy Lube for making our road trip to Radio Row possible. Jiffy Lube, a proud sponsor of Sactown Sports, with Troy Smith, Heisman Trophy winner, NFL veteran, QB in the place to be.
Yes.
Troy Smith, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, man. It's been a while, man, so I appreciate coming back, you know?
Awesome. Yeah. Let's just talk about the QB position. You know, so much has been said about whether it's Brock Purdy or Patrick Mahomes. How do you feel? And even in Tom Brady talked more about the state of the NFL right now. But how do you feel? We were talking to Michael Pittman Jr. about the golden age of the wide receivers. How do you feel about the quarterback position right now as a whole? Some people think that, they're running too much. Some people think you still need that pocket passer, but you can't be a statue back there either.
Right. Well, I know this day and age is really unique. It's okay to be yourself now. I do remember there was a day and age when you were quote unquote too short or too whatever. You know what I mean? So to see the not the top edge or the cutting edge guys, to see them finally getting their chance and their shot, it means a lot. You got to forgive me there because I don't want to be insensitive with the words.
Yes,
I know how crazy it is nowadays. You can get canceled at any moment. You know what I mean? But the overachiever has always been, you know what I mean, my type of guy. And I think Brock Purdy fits that, claim all the way down to a T. He's a baller through and through, and I like what he does.
Troy, I got to hear your perspective on this. So much has been made, especially with C.J. Stroud having the year he had, about the Ohio State quarterback. I know you've got to have some feelings on the narrative.
I got a lot of feelings
Ohio
on
State quarterbacks just can't do it. What do you got to say to people who say that?
Thank you, CJ.
Yeah, first off, because you're tired of hearing about it, I'm sure.
No doubt. He's getting rid of all of the claims, and he's getting rid of all of the rumors and different things like that. And we just talked about it a little bit. Back in our day and age, it was a little bit different. They wanted 6'4", tall cans and tall bottles of quote-unquote piss, as we used to call it back then. But now it's all about mobility. It's all about being able to make plays on the run. And the position has changed. I wish that I could have, hit the rewind button and did some different things and maybe been born a couple years later. Because my 6 foot stature is what it's all about now.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, when I see guys like Lamar Jackson, honestly, the thing I think about is you. I'm like, this Troy Smith in college was a spectacle, man. And when you see a guy like Lamar, I mean, what do you feel like is the difference, or why did it work out for him?
I think he had a staff. Well, he has a staff, and he's got people that trust in him and believe in him. To play quarterback, you need positivity. If you got people around you that are steadily poking at you and don't believe in you, then you know what's going to happen. He's got a group of people that want to build around him. His skill set is obviously it can't be bartered up against anybody else.
Right.
So he's awesome in those respects. But I believe that it's the group of people behind him pushing him and staying positive.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. When you talk about the environment, that is so important, because we were just talking to Tyler Scott, wide receiver for the Bears, and Justin Fields is another guy who I want to see him win. And I don't know if Chicago wants it. If you really want him, do what's right by him and keep him if you want him, but don't feel pressured to keep him, and then all of a sudden you throw him away because the situation wasn't perfect. You got to believe in these guys.
You got to protect them, and the quarterback only plays good when he's erect, when he's standing up, when he has a chance to survey the field and make some actual plays. If he's running for his life, what do you expect? Not only that, but when he does get a chance to run, he looks just like the guy that we were just talking about, Lamar Jackson, who is the greatest at running. You know what I mean? And Justin Fields is 1C maybe, because there's a 1B and 1A in there, but Lamar Jackson is the best at scrambling, the best at improvising. Pat Mahomes is something totally different. He's a great and a legend in his own, but the position has totally changed. And just like I said before, I wish I was going a little bit.
And, I mean, I can't lie. I was looking at some of your numbers and stuff, and to see you won the Heisman Trophy in 2006, which is almost 20 years ago. I mean, how much does it feel like college football has changed, of course, with the NIL and the transfer rules and all that, but just the game in general, how much has it changed?
100% it's changed. It's changed in that, first and foremost, it's okay to be who you are.
Right.
You don't have to be a certain size. Exactly. You don't have to be a certain size, certain speed, certain this, certain that. I just remember being chastised however many times for things that I couldn't and, wasn't in my power. So that's a number of the ways the games have changed. And then the other way is you got to pass the run, you got to run the pass. The running game is starting to resurface, but they're throwing the air out of the football. They're throwing it all over the field, 53 in the third, from sideline to sideline. They're using it. 120 yards, talking about the end zones being 10 yards apiece. They're using every blade of grass. So I love it, man. I love the actual replays on the pylons. Whoever invented that shit, oh my God, I love that. You know what I mean? So it's awesome, man. The game is where it's supposed to be, and evolution is awesome.
You won the Heisman, and we're talking about Ohio State, and Justin Fields, Ohio State guy. With the transfer portal and how things are changing,
Wild West.
Jaden Daniels, he wins the Heisman at LSU, but is he an LSU guy because he started at ASU? How do you think that has affected, I guess, the pageantry of college football, where just like Justin Fields didn't start at Ohio State, Joe Burrow, about 4 different schools want to claim Joe Burrow. How do you think that's kind of changed the landscape of college football?
It's changed it immensely. You need to be more of a professional right away. You need to have an incredible understanding of where you are with awareness. Your business acumen needs to turn on as soon as you touch campus. And I think that's awesome. I think that the only way that you get orange juice is if you squeeze the oranges, squeeze everything that you can out of all of these athletes, because they are young professionals. Give them their chance, give them their monies. For so long, the NC2A has been exactly who they've been, and we don't want to get into the nuts and bolts of that, but that'll be another conversation.
We'll have you back. We'll have you back.
Please have me back. Please have me back, because I got a lot to say. I got these gray hairs for a reason. I've been holding shit in for a long time. No more, man. But yeah, I believe that it's supposed to change and it's supposed to morph. The NIL has made it to where the playing field is now level. The athlete does deserve any and everything that they're getting, and just a little bit more. You see these coaches, as soon as they get a chance to have better or greener pastures, they'll leave like that.
Thank you.
They got no problems with packing up their family and moving, but then they got everything to say about a young kid who is aspiring to be a professional.
Yeah.
I think they need to stop with that, put their foot in their mouths and chill out. But, it's business, and this is the way it is now, and you just got to accept it.
There you go. All right, Troy Smith, Heisman Trophy winner, NFL vet. Before we get you out of here, you talked about Mahomes, you talked about Purdy, both in a very positive light, both very bright futures, but who gets it done on Sunday?
Now, okay, this is my first interview today, and I don't want to be hanged later on because I have Kansas City Chief brothers, okay? San Francisco did right by me. The whole community did right by me. I should have completed more passes, and then who knows?
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
I think it's going to be an incredibly competitive game. It's going to be a great game. I think I'm going to roll with the Chiefs. I'm going to roll with the Chiefs for this reason. And it's not because my brother has a beautiful young lady that's his girl, and we Clevelanders, we stick together. You guys know who I'm talking about with Travis Kelce. That's my brother. Shout out to the Saginaw Joneses. He knows what that means.
All right.
Not only him, but every time I've even thought about anything like separate from Patrick Mahomes, he sticks the knife in me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know he knows that I'm not doing it on purpose, but he just come through and through. It's going to be a tough game. As long as we hold both those ends down, run the football north and south, it's going to be incredibly competitive. But I'm thinking probably 37-34, Chiefs pull it out.
Yeah.
There you go.
That'd be a great game.
Troy Smith,
37-34.
37-34, another Chiefs pick. But got love for the Niners. Got love for the
all
Niners.
types of love.
That's right. Heisman Trophy winner. Thank you so much, Troy. Enjoy the rest of your time in Vegas.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Much
Appreciate
respect.
All righty. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
The Chiefs versus the 49ers. It's Super Bowl 58, Sunday, February 11th.
And it's on your home for the National Football League, Sactown Sports. Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com. It started with 32 teams back in September with one goal. Now we're down to the final two with a chance to earn the coveted Lombardi Trophy.
It's Super Bowl 58 as the Kansas City Chiefs look to go back-to-back while the San Francisco 49ers seek their 6th Super Bowl title.
Super Bowl 58, Sunday at 3:30 on your home for the NFL. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like saddling up and chasing down.
Look at that sweet moolah!
That big old cash cow.
Look at all that money!
File for free with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
The power's out at our house. Coffee table. But since our family has storm-ready Wi-Fi from Xfinity, we can stream or game in the dark. As I try and fill around for a seat. Here we go. Oh, who moved the couch?
Get storm-ready Wi-Fi only from Xfinity, so you can stay connected for up to 4 hours, even when the power goes out. Restrictions apply. Limited to customers within range of 4G LTE cellular signal. Speeds reduced to 30/7 megabits per second. Actual speeds vary. Learn more at xfinity.com/stormready.
Our Stiles and Watkins road trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. For car maintenance from oil changes to tires and brakes, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Now back to more of Stiles and Watkins.
Oil changes, tire rotations, your overall car maintenance, think Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube is the place to take your car for your next road trip. Jiffy Lube, proud sponsor of Stiles and Watkins Radio Row road trip to Las Vegas, joined by ESPN NFL senior reporter Jeremy Fowler. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
So let's start here, Jeremy. As far as the Niners are concerned, they've gotten so close, but how unique is it for a team? I know they haven't won the big one just quite yet. How unique is it for a team to sustain this level of success in this day and age in the NFL when because of that success, they got a different coordinator every season, all those types of things? How unique is what the Niners are doing?
Well, it's unique. I wouldn't say it's unique from the vantage point of how they're built, right? Because when you have common dominators like Kyle Shanahan and like 7 to 8 real star players, like most teams just don't have that. They might have 3 or 2 or 4, but to have legitimate 7 or 8 guys that are top 10 at their position, that's hard to compete with. You know, like the Saints come to mind, even though they didn't win a ton of championships, but they always kind of had that when they had Drew Brees and they were rolling. So, so they have that's built in, and that gives them sort of a confidence. And you saw like with the Ravens and with the Detroit Lions, they're really good teams, but they kind of folded under the pressure. Where San Fran's been through it enough where they're able to recover and win a game when the pressure's on. But it's pretty rare. I mean, it's hard enough to get to 1, let alone 3.
On the note of being plucked, the Niners coaching staff and their players and such, there was a report the other day from ESPN Seth Wickershams about NFL owners allegedly being upset that the Niners had been so successful with their minority coaching and more specifically getting the compensatory picks for that. What are your thoughts on that? And I mean, is that the Niners' fault?
No, it's definitely not the Niners' fault. I mean, it's they've got a hot tree of successful people. Like they have a pipeline, so it's hard to knock that. So the way the chips have fallen, you know, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensa, the Vikings GM 2 years ago, nobody really saw him as a big name, but very smart guy in a smart organization. You get an opportunity, you knock out the interview, you get a job. So I think it was. I don't know the exact nature of the complaints, but I'm not surprised because owners see that and be like, okay, do they really need a gazillion third-round picks?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, is that really necessary? I could see that complaint in that way. Maybe some venting of frustration, but I don't think anything's going to come from it.
Yeah, talking to Jeremy Fowler, ESPN NFL senior reporter. Jeremy, we know how much Niner fans want this championship. You know, the heartbreak even with Shanahan, before Shanahan. How important is it, I guess, from the national narrative standpoint for Shanahan to get it done when the NFC, let's be honest, was a little bit down this season? And I keep picking against Mahomes just because I just feel like if you aren't going to do it this season, I don't know when you're going to do it. How important is it for Shanahan to get this done?
Well, it's important. There's no doubt about it. It's because this is when legacies are shaped, right? And it's if he doesn't win this one, then it's kind of like, okay, well, when's the time if it's going to happen? But you look at the other side of the field with Andy Reid. Kyle Shanahan reminds me a little bit of Andy Reid in his Philadelphia tenure, right? Super successful, got to the Super Bowl, NFC Championship every year, couldn't get it done. That didn't make him less of a coach.
Right.
He went somewhere else, and he got Patrick Mahomes, and the rest is history. So the fact that Kyle, if you count Atlanta, has gotten here 3 times without that sort of quarterback play, or maybe even top 10 quarterback play. Now you could argue Brock Purdy is that now, but it's really impressive just to even get here. I'm impressed by that. But because I know the significance of how hard it is to do that. But at the same time, the questions persist about can you build a roster that will, fight through some hiccups and lean on their experience and their resolve and resilience to get it done. Has he shown that at the highest level yet? Probably not, and this is the time.
It was the big talking point this offseason, or one of the big talking points this offseason, running back value. Guys like Jonathan Taylor asking for his money, Saquon asking for his money. You see Christian McCaffrey win Offensive Player of the Year last year. His team's in the Super Bowl. Is Christian an example of running back value, or is he the exception?
He's probably the exception. He was just hurt those 2 years, so nobody knew it when he had signed that big contract. But he is a little different just because of all he can do.
Yeah, it's versatility.
Every coach I've ever talked to that's worked with him, they say he's literally the perfect football player taken out of a lab. Like that's what you would want it to look like. He does everything, works extremely hard. Great character, versatile. So as long as he's healthy, he's the best. And I don't really think there's any doubt right now. And I just don't see anybody getting that kind of contract right now.
Right.
Saquon was hurt all year on his ankle and still played well and fought through it and gave them a chance. So, he deserves a big contract. But I just, he's been in the league 6 years now and the window closes.
Talking to Jeremy Fowler, ESPN NFL senior reporter. Jeremy, I feel like we are at a crossroads with the wide receiver position, right? They're getting paid a lot of money and they deserve it, but it's so unique how nowadays anybody can be a wide receiver in terms of different sizes, shapes. If you got speed, whatever you can do, they'll find a spot for you. Do you think that wide receivers will continue to get paid at this premium? Or let's say a Marvin Harrison Jr. Pops. It just feels like every season, every draft, there are more wide receivers coming in. Could it turn into not the running back position, but something similar to where we got Brandon Ayuk coming up here for the Niners? Is Brandon Ayuk basically, I feel like he's the line. Do we pay a guy like that? Or can we find a Brandon Ayuk, a cheaper Brandon Ayuk in the draft?
Yeah, it is so circumstantial and depending on the player that it is hard to put a blanket statement on that because you still have things in tiers, right? Like on paper, you could say, okay, if a wide receiver class is deep every year in the draft, then it's going to be a saturated field in free agency and you're just not going to need to pay him. But, if you're like a top 10 guy, like look at Mike Evans this year, right? Like he's 30 plus years old. Every down you get the safety to roll over. I really think it depends on what you dictate from the defense. If you have 2 or even 3 defenders on you a lot of the time, that's worth $25 to $30 million a year. Like it just is. I don't care who you are. I don't care where, what is in the draft. Like if you have that, it's worth a lot of money. And Tyreek is worth that for that reason. So Brandon Ayuk, I don't know. I mean, he's very good. He's gotten better. He's great after the catch. Could he be a number 1 somewhere else? Yeah. And is he a number 1 with St. Fran? Probably. So you got to weigh how far you're willing to go with that financially. I think they'll try. They've paid their good players, Yeah. And so they'll probably try to do that with him.
I'm curious. I think it was earlier this week. Weird stuff happening here in Vegas with Cliff Kingsbury, and it seemed like he was going to be accept a job as the Raiders OC, and then goes and takes a job in Washington. Was that just premature reporting, or did something behind the scenes happen where it did kind of fall through?
I think it was just like a lot of times the way this reporting works with the coaches is, okay, if a team's identified a top target, like we want to hire this guy,
right?
It typically tends to get out, like they're working toward a deal or this and that, and. So, I think they wanted to hire him, and he wanted to be there. It's just contractually they didn't come to an agreement. I had heard kind of right after that it was a situation where they offered him a 2-year deal. Most good coordinators with a bigger name get 3 years. So I think Washington was glad to give him 3 years. So sometimes it comes down to that.
Yeah, talking to Jeremy Fowler, ESPN NFL senior reporter. Jeremy, before we get you out of here, got to get your pick. See the big banner right here. Yeah. Niners and Brock Purdy, do they get it done, number 6? Or Patrick Mahomes, do they turn themselves into a dynasty?
Yeah, I picked San Fran, 27-24. McCaffrey's my MVP.
Okay.
I just don't feel great about it because of the defense.
Sure.
Like, I don't know what I'm looking at the last couple games, honestly. So I'm betting on them turning around. But when you have effort issues in the NFC Championship game, it's an issue.
Yeah.
So I don't feel good about it. But I feel like they're the better team, better roster. I like the Chiefs' defense better, and I like the quarterback better. So if that's gonna, tight ends might be a wash at this point. Kelsey, Kittle, both great. Offensive line, maybe the Chiefs a little better, but San Fran just packs more punch. They have more star power, more players that could change the game. So I'm going to go to that, but I don't know. The defense has to show me more.
Yeah, you are in the minority, it seems like. I mean, we're seeing stuff on social media, everybody that we've had, but hopefully the Niners can get it done. Jeremy Fowler. Jeremy, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks,
we will talk to you again soon. Enjoy the rest of your time in Vegas.
For sure. Thanks, guys.
All right, you got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins live from Las Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
Jiffy Lube, a proud partner of Sactown Sports, is sending Stiles and Watkins on the road to Las Vegas.
Road trip!
Starting Wednesday from 10 to 2, join the guys live from Radio Row as they get exclusive interviews to prep you for the big game.
Vegas! Vegas, baby, Vegas!
It's Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas, all part of our Jiffy Lube road trip on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments. And after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
Our Stiles and Watkins road trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. For car maintenance from oil changes to tires and brakes, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Now back to more of Stiles and Watkins.
Gonna peel back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
Special thanks to Jiffy Lube for
man,
making
we're winding down. This is the last
our
hour.
road trip to Radio Row possible. Jiffy Lube, a proud sponsor of Sactown Sports. Gonna peel back the curtain a little bit. So I guess it's close enough, right? You've seen the commercials. I'm sure everybody has. But Bounty has been just stuffing us with wings this whole week,
Every
right?
single day.
Yeah, so they have this whole setup where you can throw a football. They got, you can throw a football into a circle.
Yeah.
They got the Bounty, the quicker picker upper, and they're handing you paper towels as they hand you wings. So we've been enjoying the wings the whole time we've been here. Nate says he's done with the wings.
I know.
Because he's had too many wings. I already
Never.
had mine for today. You can't have too many
I
wings.
promise you I'm going to have wings on Sunday, too.
Okay, well,
This
you
is
have
not-
to.
This is not going to stop.
They did not have lemon pepper, though.
I know.
And, we were, it was a little rough.
Also,
but
I've talked about this before, too. They give us some barbecue sauce. I'm just not a
Yeah.
barbecue wing guy. It's
No.
got to be the buffalo or the lemon pepper for me. It just doesn't do it. Doesn't do it for me, the barbecue wings.
we're having fun. All right. So let's just take it there.
Yeah.
Where are you at? I don't know if we've talked about this already, but
What's
where are you at with the flats and drumsticks?
Ooh,
Please don't let me down.
I don't discriminate. I really don't.
Okay, good. Because the purists,
it's the same to me.
The purists, I'm just sick of.
I will say I really shouldn't be as proud of it as I am, but I can smack a wing pretty quick. Like if you give me a flat, I can.
Can someone count? Can you cut that?
I can peel it off.
Can
the
you
bone
cut that
in about 2-3 seconds? It's at some point in my life.
You got video?
I'm going to get into a wing eating competition.
See,
I feel like I
wouldn't-
could do some damage.
See, okay, you got the wings taken care of.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do wings. I would do tacos though.
Tacos.
I
really.
have put down probably 12
Yeah.
in one sitting. You know the taco truck.
Solo 12.
Solo 12. Solo 12. And they were cooking them. They were laughing
Yeah.
at me too. You're gonna eat more? Yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna eat more.
yeah.
I did
Is
12.
that like at a wedding or something?
What it was, I was working at the country club back in college, and
okay.
you hungry.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So they're making the
Stay
tacos,
hungry.
and when everybody else eats, they said, "Hey guys, go get your tacos." And
You said
I got my
I'm gonna go
tacos.
get
I
my
I got my tacos. I
Are
definitely-
you like a plain like you just like the meat and the onions and the cilantro?
No.
on top?
I like the salsa.
Okay.
I like everything
You like
on
the
it.
salsa,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? I got to get it going that way.
Cool.
Okay, we are going to be joined.
Yes, I'm excited for this one, man.
I
Jay's
was
doing
gonna
me
say-
tons of favors this trip. We got a couple Temple people on.
No,
Jay
yeah,
got a
yeah,
couple
no, yeah, yeah,
Longhorns on. Let me get a couple Vikings on. Okay, we had Andrew Sandejo yesterday.
That's right.
And we're about to get some Eric Kendricks on here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Kyle Rudolph walking around.
Well, you can't miss them.
No, you can't.
No, you can't miss them. There's some big boys here.
Huge. I think I saw Alexander Madison walking around.
Yeah.
One day the Vikings will be in the game themselves. But it's pretty crazy.
This might be the closest you get.
I think this is. This really might be the closest.
You
that
ran
we
into
get
a
right
Vikings fan
on the
elevator.
Yes.
So I mean, I feel like you are a shady, strong
fan base.
No, it's huge. People really don't understand. I mean, I was here. Obviously, I came to that Raider Vikings game a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Or at this point, it was a couple months ago. And yeah, man, they come out, and it's really a sneaky big fan base. They don't really get the pub of, obviously they're not to the level of the Cowboys or even to the level of the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, man, like, if we're talking, maybe like Steelers territory, there's a shady amount of Vikings fans all around the country.
Yeah, are there any rankings? I know they'll say
They should.
They do
really
it based
should.
on money sometimes,
Right.
but strongest fan bases,
Yeah.
and I don't even know if there's a good way to really
Well, they would
measure
probably
it.
do it by brand, right? Like brand value.
You'd have
and then
to.
it's the Cowboys.
It's the
and,
Cowboys.
and
It's
the
the Cowboys.
Patriots with their
My
recency
driver
bias.
yesterday, she was Cowboys, Lakers, and Dodgers. I
What a
almost
terrible
jumped
person.
out
Yeah,
of
just
the
get out
car.
of the
It was a
vehicle.
moving car. I almost jumped out of a moving
I
vehicle.
already don't trust Vegas Lyfts and Ubers.
Yeah.
And if she would have told me that, I seriously would have. No, you can peel off. Right
You know what
now.
she
It's
did
okay.
tell me, though, as we talked about the A's last week, continue to talk
Yeah.
about the A's. What she told me is, obviously, like I said, she's Cowboys. So the integrity there is already
Yes,
a bit questionable.
corrupted.
But the Raiders, even though it is the Raiders, it's the Raiders brand, right?
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
spoke
it's
a little
huge.
bit about this when we talked to singer TQ a couple days
Right,
ago.
yeah.
I don't know if the Raiders have fully been adopted in Vegas. I just think that the Vegas brand
Yeah.
is just now in Vegas,
Yes,
right? The Raiders
exactly.
brand is just now
They just
in.
so happen to play.
Exactly. And she said same thing about,
It's almost like a
the
circus,
A's
like the
moving.
Globetrotters or something.
Exactly. What she said was, who everybody really, really rides for? It's the Knights. Because
Yeah.
the Knights, that's actually
theirs.
their baby.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Homegrown.
that
like you
is
said,
their
yeah.
homegrown team. So I thought that was really interesting
Yeah.
when I decided to continue to listen, even though she said she was Lakers,
Just
Dodgers,
instantly clear that out.
and Cowboys. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
And we've had some great guests today, and I just feel bad that I didn't believe Niner fans about this underdog thing. I do think it was premature. But they ended up being right because nobody is picking the Niners.
Nobody. And even
Nobody.
if they are, you heard Jeremy Fowler there. He's like, I'm going to pick the Niners, but
Basically,
even
I
I'm
don't
not
want
really,
to.
he's
Yeah.
like, I like their quarterback. I like the Chiefs quarterback more. I
Yeah.
like their defense more. And I think I like their coach more. And I think I just trust them more overall.
Yeah.
But the Niners should win.
The
And it's
Niners
just like,
should win.
It's almost like you're picking them by default because it feels like you have to out of respect. But I think, again, as we've talked about, everybody wants to pick Patrick Mahomes, and it makes a ton of sense. And if you're a believer in the outside stuff affecting the game at all in terms of, does the NFL want a certain person to win? Yeah, of course, you're probably going to say it would be great for the NFL for Travis Kelce to cry and go to midfield and propose to Taylor Swift immediately after the game. But, man, that's just not how this thing's worked. Again, we've seen Tom Brady, we've seen GOATs try to pull off a perfect season, and Eli Manning and the Giants upset them. There's no predetermined anything. Yes, it's okay to have fear of Patrick Mahomes, but I feel like people are just frozen by that fear.
Yeah, let's sneak in some Kings talk here, Chris.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. Look, they're gonna ball tonight.
Hey, we didn't play Monty McNair's press conference. Should we play a snippet right here of Monty McNair talking about all of his moves?
I don't know if you'll be in.
Ready? 3, 2.
I can smack a wing pretty quick.
Okay, that is all right, Kyle. That's foul. Fair or foul? That's foul, Kyle.
I can smack a wing pretty quick.
There. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Because he didn't do anything. I did see
do anything.
Our own Brendan Nunes. For us, this is from Monty McNair.
Yeah.
For us, we know the job is never done. We'll continue to vet those opportunities to make our team better. We're excited about what we got going forward. That is from Kings GM Monty McNair. I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah, right. I mean, what else can you say is, yeah, we like what we got going on. We believe in our guys. Sure, that's all fine and dandy. But you better hope that those guys go out there and prove you right, because if this team ends up in the play-in, and God forbid they don't even make it out of the play-in, there is going to – I don't care about, reigning GM of the year. I'm not calling for Mike Brown, but it's all Monty at that point. I'm not saying I'm not calling for his job either, but questions have to be asked if this team ends up really floundering at the end of this year because they did nothing.
Yeah, and this could get ugly. Okay, and it can go from it being a Cinderella story, if you will, or a comeback story.
Nice. Oh,
hold on a second.
This is live radio at its finest.
Yes, sir. Alan, Chris.
Yes.
Alan.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you hopping on, man. Thank you.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No problem.
We are joined by Michael Brockers, defensive tackle. How are you doing, my man?
Man, I'm doing good. Doing good. Hey, am I peaking? Am I
No,
good?
you're good. You sound great.
Good. Oh, peeking. You know the lingo.
Someone's getting into the media.
You know, I'm on the dark side now.
Yeah. How is that? Do you think you want to continue to dabble? And I mean, everybody's doing it. How, you think you want to go full on and do it?
I'm working on that now. I'm talking with my team now. You know, I'm a very humble guy.
Yeah.
You know, this space is unknown to me. It's different, and I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you. I'm nervous a lot of the times, just on how I'm speaking, how I'm, you know, pronunciating my words. Am I getting it out? You know, am I getting, you know, the point out? You know, so there's a lot of things, you know, because I'm a perfectionist as well. You know, that athlete, you know, competitive side of me comes out. So I just want to be good, you know, and I want to be good fast. And that's not how this thing works.
Sounds like me and golfing, man. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Man,
you know, we're here in Vegas, right? We're talking to Michael Brockers, and we're here in Vegas, and obviously they were in Oakland, and then they moved on to Vegas. So you don't really hear about the players and how that affects you. You went through a similar thing, St. Louis, and then Los Angeles. Can you talk about how it feels as a player? I don't know if feel bad is the wrong term, but you see the people in the city, you know that you're leaving, you're going to a different city, you yourself, your family, all of that. Talk about that transition from the player standpoint.
Man, that situation started off really early. Like there were whispers in St. Louis about us leaving, but you know, me kind of somewhat understanding the game, I was like, there's no way we can move that fast.
Right.
There has to be a bunch of things. They have to find space, land, all this, you know. And we played through the season, and it kind of got worse as the season going, you know. They're like, oh, yeah, they're really leaving. I'm like, yeah, right. Then I find out when everybody else finds out on the news.
Wow.
Los Angeles is moving. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, so this is real, you know. This is real. We have to, you know, transition and things like that. So the team did as much as they could to help us out. You know, let's be honest. You know, they offered us moving companies, things like that. They told us where they were going to be, but it's just still such a struggle to pick your family up really quickly. You know, move your stuff. You're still settled. You know, we still had a home in Houston, so the off season messed up our off season a little bit. So, man, it was tough. You know, when it's the business side, they just decide to, hey, we're moving, and you're a part of that, and you have to pick yourself up and move as well.
How have you viewed the 49ers kind of Super Bowl run here, I guess, from, you know, I mean, your first year in the league in 2012 all the way through now? They've gone through so many different iterations, but at the same time, with a couple lean years there, but for the most part, we're at the top of the game. Just what's your perspective on how the Niners have kind of built this thing out?
I think their front office is really well. I think their front office is built well because they go through different regimes and they seem to always get the right guys for that team. You know, that they have a winning culture about them, and you know they get guys that believe in that culture. You know, if you're hard-nosed, gritty, you know, fight to the whistle kind of guy, and they feel like you fit that team, they're going to pick you. And most, you know, for the most part, they end up keeping their guys. So, you know, a team like that is going to always do well.
Yeah.
There you go. Talking to Michael Brockers, defensive tackle. What do you think is maybe the most underrated part of either the Chiefs or the Niners? We've talked to so many people. You've done so many hits. We talk about Brock. We talk about Mahomes. We talk about Taylor Swift. I mean, Travis Kelce. We talk about everybody. What's an underrated part of either the Niners or the Chiefs that you think could come out during the Super Bowl?
I don't think it's underrated, but I mean, me knowing as a player, if the D-line gets after the quarterback, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
If the D-line can control the line of scrimmage without, you know, linebackers blitzing and pressure, it's going to be a long day. So the D-lines on both sides have to utterly dominate the game and disrupt the passes, disrupt the timing in order for them to be successful.
I'm curious. You spent a couple years there in Detroit as well. What did you view Dan Campbell building that culture and turning it into the thing that we saw this year? And as a player too, his hyper aggressive style of coaching. Do you like that as a player?
I think you do. I mean, you have to if you going in knowing what kind of guy he is.
Right.
If you know that now, everybody should
now
know
everybody
that
knows,
he's gonna, he's gonna bite the
thing.
kneecaps. He's gonna put it on the table and gamble.
Yeah.
So going in there, like, oh, if it's close, 4th and 1, they're on that side of the field.
Yeah.
Hey, let defense get ready.
Yeah.
Because they might get, they might go for
Right.
it. So. For us, is they're getting the right guys. They're building it the right way. They're building it from the inside out, and from the trenches out. So I think, and then a lot of guys see them winning as well. So you see the atmosphere, you see them winning.
Yeah.
It's easy for guys to be like, okay, I can do a stint in Detroit now. Instead of feeling like, oh man, I'm gonna go to Detroit and get lost.
Yeah.
Now okay. They're going to be on TV. They're going to be on Sunday Night Football. I'm going to be seen. Even if I do a one-year deal or whatever, what have you, I will get, if I ball out or I play well, I will get seen and possibly move on to something greater.
Yeah.
Brock, man, you are here not as a player, but as someone that's on our side of the media, man. Talk about the broadcast, man, and what it is because we've had Takeo Spikes, we've had guys now who are transitioning to doing what you're doing. How is it being, instead of being interviewed like you are right now, doing the interviewing?
It's nerve-wracking, bro. It's nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Because like I said earlier, I'm a perfectionist, so I want to go into, if I look in your bio, I'm not just gonna ask you, oh, how did you, make all these socks in this game? No, I'm gonna ask you, how was your mindset going into this game? Did you feel like I want to go deeper, into the athlete's mind? Like I want to humanize the athletes. We get praised too much being gladiators too much, and that is one side of, what we do. But the other side is we have hobbies, we have families, we go through things. So I want the fans to know the other side of athletes.
Talking to Michael Brockers. Michael, thank you so much. Go check out the broadcast. But we can't let you go without getting a pick. What you got on Sunday?
I have no dog in this fight. Be honest with you, I just want a good game.
Yeah.
And I know that's cliche, but when you don't have a dog in the fight, you just like, really, I just want some good football.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, good football, the best team wins, and it is what it is.
There you go, Michael
Yes,
Brockers.
sir.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your time in
appreciate
Vegas.
it. Yes.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
It started with 32 teams back in September with one goal. Now we're down to the final 2 with a chance to earn the coveted Lombardi Trophy.
It's Super Bowl 58 as the Kansas City Chiefs look to go back-to-back while the San Francisco 49ers seek their 6th Super Bowl title.
Super Bowl 58, Sunday at 3:30 on your home for the NFL. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Shop can't miss deals on appliances this President's Day at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $75 on every $750 you spend on all major appliances, like LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances. Shop in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 2/28. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
When accidents turn life upside down, AutoAccident.com is in your corner. Compassionate advice, loyal support, and the courage to fight for you. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo, with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. One-day tickets are on sale now, starting at $46, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by Hubble Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
The new year is here at Folsom Lake Kia. Shop my favorite dealer, Folsom Lake Kia, for low interest rates, low payments with 0 down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia for over 25 years right here in Sacramento.
Join Sactown Sports at Twin Peaks for big game action on over 40 screens. And your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see pop icons The Jacksons at Thunder Valley on March 30th. Don't miss it.
Sactown Sports road trip to Vegas to cover the big game is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your place to take your car before your next road trip.
Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your road trip headquarters.
Oil changes, tire rotations, your overall car maintenance, think Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube is the place to take your car for your next road trip. Jiffy Lube, proud sponsor of Stiles Watkins Radio Row road trip to Las Vegas, joined by Eric Kendricks, Chargers linebacker. Thank you so much, man.
No problem. Don't sleep on the car maintenance either. You know, that's much needed.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I'm a big car guy. And, you know, don't let it stack up. You know,
so you're a big car guy. Does that mean you got some classics in the garage?
Yeah, I got my version of classics. I don't go past the 90s really, but I have a Mustang LX 5.0, 93. Last year was made. I have a 95 Dodge Viper.
Okay.
I got some other stuff that's we don't have to talk about, but
yeah,
I'm a car guy basically.
Well, we can
Some guys
tell
got
right
shoes,
there.
you got cars.
That's right. What happened to the Viper? Did they just stop making them?
They discontinued it as far as like going into the future, but originally, the original Viper, they just threw it together to race. It was designed by Shelby, I think, and they're basically cars that are just ridiculous amount of power, and I'm happy I have one.
There you go. There you go. All right. We know I'll let Chris talk, but he is our Minnesota Vikings guy. But you are with the Chargers now. Obviously, Harbaugh gets named. How excited are you? What were your first thoughts when you heard the news?
Yeah, I think my first thoughts were, it's general nervousness because it's going to be a new change. It's coming, but it's just kind of like what's to be expected. But at the same time, I had a conversation with him recently, and I'm excited, man. I feel like my main goal is to win a Super Bowl, and if he's gonna take us there, which I think he's a great coach. I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of that, and I'm down for whatever. I just want to win at this point in my career.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot the second part of that question.
Yeah, that was pretty much.
All right, cool. I'm curious. I mean, yeah, I like Alan said, I'm a Vikings fan, so I watched you and AB play together from UCLA all the way through Minnesota. And the Niners have a similar linebacking core that's got a ton of experience with Warner and Greenlaw. How important is that, and why is it so important to kind of have that unspoken thing with somebody that you've played with for so long? I feel like especially the linebacker position has been kind of undervalued the past couple of years. Yeah. I think that it's super important as far as where your defense is, the heart of your defense is at. These are your main communicators between the back and the front end. And when you have a guy like Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, it's automatic. The communication is automatic. They've been playing for years together. Yeah. They can look at each other and know how to communicate, and that goes a long way, especially when the Chiefs are on the ball quick and things like that. There's a lot of unspoken things that happen in the game that you rely on experience to take you through. So when you have two guys that are playing at the level that they're playing at,
and they're able to communicate and not only communicate but excel at their position. And it's almost priceless.
Yeah. Talking to Eric Kendricks, linebacker for the Chargers. Eric, we talk so much about Brock Purdy and obviously Patrick Mahomes. They're in the big dance, and all this conversation about Brock Purdy being overrated, or underrated, right? Or actually both, depending on who you talk to. It feels like, oddly enough, Justin Herbert has been catching strays and is weirdly moving into a category where he might be the comeback player of the year next season, because people are starting to sleep on him. We know he's got the tools. We know he has everything on paper. Honestly, you can make the argument he is the anti-Purdy just from, he has all of the drafty things that people like. Can you speak to Justin Herbert and who he is as a leader and a quarterback?
Man, great leader, great quarterback, great competitor. He's a competitor at heart, which is like the number one quality in a quarterback you look for. You want a dog who's out there and is willing to scrap for it. He has all those. You stand next to him in the locker room, and he's a large human.
Right.
He can bench a lot. He can run fast. Way faster than people probably think. But I feel like ultimately, it was upsetting for me because we didn't do good this past year, and I just feel like guys like Justin Herbert, guys like Khalil Mack, we have to we need to put things together for those kind of guys that are just out there day in and day out, putting on for the squad, and you gotta want to do better for those guys. But it's a collective effort, and they know that more than anybody. But yeah, you just they're ballers.
Yeah.
He's a baller.
Yeah, absolutely. Eric, I'm sorry, I gotta ask. We're in Vegas right now. Last time y'all were here, it was not very happy times. What happened in that what was it, Week 15 Thursday night game in Vegas where, the Raiders, I was actually at that Vikings-Raiders game the week before where it was 0-0 heading all the way into like the last 2 minutes of the game. And then the very next week, the Raiders put up 63. What went wrong that week?
I think anything that could have went wrong.
Yeah. I
think that it was just like a little bit of a little bit of unfortunate situations initially that just snowballed. And I've been a part of a game like that maybe once or twice in my career. A game kind of like that, I feel like happens every year to each team. Like kind of not that bad, but it happens to every team at least once per year. You have to show up to play in the NFL, period. And when you get things like when you get things like fumble recoveries and you give up touchdowns on missed assignments like that, if those things lead to bigger issues. So we got to play better, no doubt about it. And that was embarrassing. And, the thing that what I felt the worst about is because I'm here with this great locker room full of guys. We work hard, we care about each other, and we go out there and we really try to put on for our families and everything like that. But when you put a performance up like that, it makes you feel bad. You naturally take it hard, and everybody took that one hard. Everybody took responsibility for that, and we moved on eventually, and we got back to playing. But at the same time, it's like, you don't want to see that for the guys who you see working day in, day out. You want to see success, and ultimately that's just not who we were.
Talking to Eric Kendricks, Chargers linebacker. Thank you so much, Eric. Before we get you out of here, I'm very interested to see who you pick, because that man is in your division, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Who do you think is going to take home the Super Bowl on Sunday?
I've been saying this, though. I said this the last time they played. I'm going Niners, which it sounds crazy because I'm going against Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's just, it is what it is. I know he's in my division. I love playing against him. It's, a very, very good competitor. But it's hard.
Yeah. There you go, Eric Kendricks. Thank you so much, man. Good luck the rest of your career, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take it easy.
All righty, let's get to a break. Stiles and Watkins, when we get back, more Niners, more Chiefs, live from Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs. It's Super Bowl 58, live from Las Vegas, Sunday, February 11th on Sactown Sports.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here.
The power's out at our house. Coffee table. But since our family has storm-ready Wi-Fi from Xfinity, we can stream or game in the dark. As I try and fill around for a seat. Here we go. Oh, who moved the couch?
Get storm-ready Wi-Fi only from Xfinity, so you can stay connected for up to 4 hours, even when the power goes out. Restrictions apply. Limited to customers within range of 4G LTE cellular signal. Speeds reduced to 30/7 megabits per second. Actual speeds vary. Learn more at xfinity.com/stormready.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got good news. The American Energy Heat and Air $0 HVAC diagnostic has been extended to February 29th. That's right. It expired at the end of January, but want to give you all an opportunity who missed out to get in. It's a $99 value. All right, it's $100, and right now it's free. I don't know how much easier I can pitch that. Normally $100, now $0. Let the American Energy team test your system, your connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly. And you know who's going to be coming to your home? A group of people that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. A group of folks that have been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. $0 HVAC diagnostic. Normally a $100 value right now at American Energy Heat and Air. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or call them to make your appointment. 916-520-9990.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2024 half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's try.
Sactown Sports Road Trip to Vegas to cover the big game is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your place to take your car before your next road trip.
Our Stiles Watkins road trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. For car maintenance from oil changes to tires and brakes, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Now back to more of Stiles Watkins.
Sactown Sports Road Trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by our friends at Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a road trip, visit Jiffy Lube. For all your automotive maintenance needs, Jiffy Lube is your road trip headquarters. You know, I hate to put you on the spot here, Chris.
Do it.
But honestly, it's hard for me to even remember everybody. Do you have, not that we're done, we're still rocking and rolling. Do you have a favorite interview so far?
Ooh, that's a great question. In a way, I understand why someone would say it's kind of like picking your kids. You know, it's
right.
A little bit tough, but
yes.
Man, that first day, I really liked a lot of the Stevie Johnson. To me, is probably the biggest surprise. I wasn't expecting to really feel anything different about Stevie or anything like that, and just how real he was. That definitely stuck out to me. Michelle Beadle was probably the most fun I feel like we had. Golick this morning I thought was awesome. Man, it's been awesome. I really don't think we have, and truthfully, I mean, we've had, I don't know, I mean, because I know there's going to be some that we don't even get to air. We've probably talked with, I don't know, 20, 30 people. I don't think, in my opinion,
20, 30.
I don't know even. No, Jay,
you like more than 60.
Yeah, and
it's all a blur.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we've done that interview. I really do, it has not felt like anything's been awkward. I feel like we've been pointed. We've had great guest engagement. We haven't had anyone sit in that chair and give us 2-word answers. I really think this has been a really, really awesome couple days that we've had.
Yeah, and you never know what people are going to like. I got a text during the break from one of my best buds saying that Craig LeBlanc was great. You know, the QB
he was
guru.
Awesome. Yeah, I talked with him like 10 minutes after.
Yeah, and he showed us the videos of the 7th grader, by the way.
That kid's going to be in a league.
He's nice. He's nice.
Yeah,
he's
coming
nice.
soon.
So, look, well, you know, as things are winding down, we're running out of time to get our clout in. So just so everybody knows who is walking around right now, we saw Michael Irvin. He was in a nice aqua blue suit. We got Brandon Cooks that we're looking at right here.
Stephon Gilmore, they together.
Is right there next to him.
I saw Aiden Hutchinson walking.
Aiden Hutchinson walking by. So a lot of people.
Cam
is still walking around. And
got
he must
his
have
game
about
changer.
18 of those shirts. He's got on he's got on the game changer, game manager shirt. But I was thinking about that, right? Before Cam did, and Mark Schlereth, by the way, doing great on YouTube. Check out that interview as well, Mark Schlereth. That was a great one.
Yeah.
Before Cam said Nate Fanboy.
Rampage.
Is he
really? Rampage is here.
I saw.
I saw Rampage.
You look happy as a clam, and I'm happy for you. I'm happy for his
dad. Sure. And before, and not to, I don't mean to keep interrupting you. Make sure before we get out of here, let everybody know, and I'll put a list together. We have like 8, 9, 10 interviews that we aren't able to fit in during on air.
Yeah.
And so you'll be able to go catch those on YouTube as well.
That's right. You will definitely be able to catch those at YouTube. I was just going to say the game changer, game manager thing. What did we call non-game managers before Cam said, and I don't know if Cam made it up or not, but based on the shirt, I think he did. Was it just elite? I mean, what was it?
That's really what it was, right? The
or you're not
Joe
good.
Flacco.
Or
It
you're
was
not
either,
good.
you're a game manager, are you elite, or you just are elite? Because it was always the Eli Manning. You can't spell elite without Eli. Joe Flacco, is he elite?
Right.
These were the narratives, and it was, it's just moving the goalpost. But yeah, absolutely. I think, to my knowledge, Cam was the first person I heard
think he did, and
use
that's
that
why he got the shirts.
He probably should.
I want one of those shirts. I'm trying to get some of those shirts. Yesterday we had the most gifts. We got a bunch of gifts yesterday.
Yeah.
So that was
from who?
We got Andrew Sandejo gave us. What was it? Brain water.
The brain tree water. We had Watson X as well. We got those shirts.
But I'm saying from who?
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, okay.
You're putting me on the spot.
Well, maybe I should say from what college?
Okay.
That's why I was.
That's why he was saying, he's like, you see how UT roll? Y'all don't get.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's just been a great experience, and I really do think that the Niners will get it done because they have no choice. They have no choice now. Jay, you the one. You always come fitted up in the Niner gear.
Yeah.
I mean, this one would hurt. I know this one would hurt.
You're 100% right.
Yeah.
This one would be the worst one. And I say that because everyone, when you lose, is the worst one, right?
That's right.
But this one would be the worst one. I think going into it, if it wasn't, it's almost, and correct me if I'm wrong, from your opinion, your thoughts, fellas, it's almost because it's Pat Mahomes. And I think, of the 30 people that have sat in this chair and said that they're picking the Chiefs is because I'm looking up at this guy. I'm looking at 15. I'm looking at Pat. I can't go against him. I can't. No one's talking about the Chiefs. Everyone has basically said, I'm looking at this guy right here in front of me, number 15, who's sitting on the banner next to Purdy and Travis Kelce and who was that?
Debo.
That's Debo. And it's interesting because I think if there was any other team from the AFC that was on this banner, including Lamar Jackson, even though Lamar and them beat the Niners, I think people would be picking the 49ers.
Well, I think basically it's a lot of people that are like me who picked against the Chiefs the whole time during the playoffs, and now they just don't want to get burned by Mahomes again. And ultimately, it is a safe pick because you pick Mahomes and they win, it's Mahomes. You pick Mahomes and they lose. Well, I didn't pick against the GOAT, I didn't, or the future GOAT. He lost to a really good team, and look at Brock Purdy, right?
Yeah.
And I thought Lee Steinberg, speaking of just how things are going to change or could change for Brock if he gets this thing done
instantly, man.
I think one thing that we don't realize because we're so much we dive in deep to the sports world is that sports, as big as they are, it's also a bit niche, right? And if you look at different Instagram handles from musical artists to athletes, you will learn that very quickly.
Yes.
A lot of people do not know the name Brock Purdy. If he wins that Super Bowl, and I don't care how, if he hands it off 8,000 times, Brock Purdy's life will change forever.
Yes.
Forever.
Agreed.
Like Sandlot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like it's not, the 49ers are a legacy brand as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really big deal maybe not the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback Super Bowl champion, but it might be.
So you're saying Troy Aikman is bigger than Joe Montana?
I don't think so, but I think the platform in its just by nature, I think like Dak Prescott is going to get more attention than Jeff Garcia.
I got you.
I just think the nature of being the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback is such a huge, massive spotlight. I don't think there's anything else in sports quite like the pressure of being the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback.
There's my boy Rampage, man. Yeah.
Looking like he can still enter the ring, man.
Man, that's the A team right there, baby.
That's crazy.
Baracus.
Yeah, and, yeah. I mean, it's just this is crazy, man. Yeah.
So
how was that fight you went to yesterday?
Yeah, it was boring.
Really?
Yeah, because Teofimo,
you're a fight dude.
I'm a big time fight dude. Teofimo Lopez, he got the decision victory. Unanimous decision over Jermaine Ortiz out of Worcester, Massachusetts. Teofimo is a showman. He came out even kind of like with the circus atmosphere. He had, stilt guy. Yeah. He had ring woman and all these different things. He had a top hat on, like the Grandmaster. And he didn't give none of that. And I know, looking at the fight inside the ring, and don't get me wrong, Jermaine Ortiz, he was on his bicycle, which meant he ran around for for non-boxing fans. He didn't stay still. He didn't brawl. He didn't go toe to toe. And a lot of fans don't like that. They want you to, it's gladiator sport. They want you to go toe to toe.
Yeah, they just want to see two guys slugging. They want a heavyweight matchup every time.
No, man, that's not what he did. He pot shotted, which means he, snuck out a quick jab, a quick hit, and then got on the bicycle. And so it wasn't great for the eyes. It definitely wasn't great for the eyes. I thought Jermaine Ortiz won. Teofimo didn't hit him at all. But when you are the champ, when you have multiple belts, when you are star-studded, when you are the Taylor Swift, so to say, when you're the Pat Mahomes, like we're going to go ahead and push you a little bit further because we want to make a few more bucks on you when you fight a bigger name. And so that's what happened.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look, we have the Andy Reid. Andy Reid is here. He made it. Trying to get him in the shot as well. Nate just doing a great job. The super producing just
shouts out to Nate this week too.
No, he really
Nate's
has.
been killing it. He's the only if anyone's watching on YouTube, man, we look like we're in a 4K movie right now.
That's right. That's right. Doing a great job.
And while I'm at it too, man, let me say this from the outside looking in. This is your guys' first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Salute to y'all, bro.
Thank you.
And I say that to you, man, is I remember my first Super Bowl, right? And it's overwhelming sometimes.
For sure.
Especially when you look around and you see Deion Sanders or you see Shador walking by and he's got an entourage
Stephen
like he's already a pro.
He
like,
did walk by today, by the way.
Yes, exactly. And so kudos to you guys for keeping your hat on top of your head.
Yeah.
Obviously there's some people we would love to get. Obviously we had people lined up.
Yeah.
Obviously we got people that we wanted. And for you guys to take all of that in stride, work the clock, talk to people, create questions. Like a lot of people don't understand what goes into what we do. And it's funny because when you sit down and we talk to Keel Spikes, you talk to Michael Brockers, guys who are full-fledged millionaires, athletes, they have it all.
Yeah.
But what do they say? Man, it's hard to do this.
Yeah.
It's hard to create questions.
Yes.
It's hard to do what you guys do. It's hard to sit down, look a person in the eye, and create something that people want to hear.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing about it is, if you're blessed to talk, we all can talk.
Yeah.
But you have to be funny. You have to be captivating.
Yeah.
You have to be interesting. You have to ask pointed questions, And so I want to make sure before, because you guys get to talk, I want to make sure we give you your thank yous and appreciations this week, man, because you guys have been knocking it out, bro. And now it's over. Right?
Yes,
it's here and it's out. Yes, man.
Starting the shift.
Right.
We'll give Jay his flowers later, but I will add on to what he's saying. And I told you this, I think, day one. This has almost felt like a radio boot camp in a way.
Man,
where it's like
definitely an interview.
You're going to get through this, and then at the end, like next week, whatever, any guest we ever have on,
easy.
I'm never going to stress about, oh, my God, I don't know anything. Because I know now I can whip something up in a 3-minute break or something like that.
And
it's crazy.
It'll definitely help us in the future, and it'll help the listening experience for everybody, all the Sactowners, everybody that listens.
Thank you for everyone who stuck around. Too.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know
this isn't your normal content.
Yes, we were flipping back and forth trying to get the Kings in. Luckily, the Kings did
They gave us no news.
Right.
So
there
thanks,
was no
Kings.
problem.
Appreciate it.
All right, got to get to a break when we get
No, we don't.
we
got no
don't.
break. We're
We're
straight through the 55.
We're all the way through.
That's
We're
why
running through this thing.
That's why I wanted you guys, and I said that because I wanted you guys to talk about your experience. Because that's something that people want to hear, man.
Yeah. There you go.
It's very interesting to be here.
Yeah. No,
especially the first time in the first Vegas Super Bowl,
right?
And see some of the things, experience these things, man. Talk about that stuff.
Yeah,
no. Actually, I'm curious from someone who has been to a couple different radio rows or been to a couple Super Bowls. I think we asked Q this day one.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we're on Friday, has Vegas added anything to this?
I think outside of
like when we get
radio
out,
row, like I think that has.
Yeah.
I've seen it very interesting, and I've kind of noticed this too. And just speaking to everybody, I think a lot of people are coming in a little later to Vegas because it's so expensive, right? And so, as we've seen over the last couple of days, Radio Row's always going to be Radio Row.
Exactly,
definitely.
Yeah.
Now, what I've heard from other people the last pandemic years and all that kind of messed up some things.
Sure.
But the Super Bowls that I've attended looks just like this.
Yeah.
Looks just like this. Absolutely. But we see more entertainers here, I think, this year as well.
Yeah.
Because it's Las Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have too much, honestly. And look, Kyle, I need a Hail Mary. I think it was live. But the voice, I'm trying to make it here. I'm telling Chris, I'm trying to stay lubricated. I went with the tequila spikes, and it cracked right at the tequila. I was like, oh my goodness! So Kyle, if you can get that one out, much appreciated. I think it was live though, so I think it's already happened. But yeah, man, it's been a great experience meeting so many people, and we're not done yet. We're still here. We're gonna meet some more people tonight, and I'm just thankful to number one to Jiffy Lube. For making this happen because it was really something that I'll always remember.
Yes.
And everybody that's listening, I love my clout, okay? And I got enough clout to last not a lifetime, I'd say, until next week. Because I'm going to need some more. I'm going to need some more. But Jay, you know what? There are a lot of people out here that talk about it. Jay does talk about it, but he is about it as well. Okay, he is about that business. Yeah. He's done it for the show, getting some guests. He's done it outside of the show, really helping the experience. Yes. So I just want to say thank you to Jay. Because, I mean, you set the bar high. Yeah. You did set the bar high, but you reached it. You reached it.
Try to get there, man. I appreciate that. This is what we do. Mm-hmm. And honestly, fellas, when we come here, and hopefully this is the first of many more.
Yeah.
This is when it takes over. It switches over because what we do every single day. It's not like I take that for granted, but it's also one of those things where it's like, I mean, we only really working 2-3 guests in a day.
Yeah.
I only have to talk to you 4, 5, 6 times. I'm checking clocks and stuff. A little more here though, and that's I like that. I enjoyed it, and sometimes it reinvigorates.
Right?
The love of the game, exactly. Yeah. And so I appreciate the situation, man. And like you said, being a part of this, because I'm not part of the midday, right? So I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was the Super Bowl crew.
Yes, sir.
We'll get tattoos or something like that. That's what
you said you were going to get a tattoo when you were here.
And I told you that off air.
And I didn't want to tell anyone about the Chuck Liddell thing.
Well, that's true too. Okay,
you don't have to do them like that, Nate. It's not an eye for an eye, Nate.
There you
I
go.
don't even know what that means.
That's right. That's right. I just think that the crazy thing for me was seeing Jay have to tell people no.
Yes.
I'm not trying to pat ourselves on the back, but there are a lot of people here, right, trying to get people on the show. Chris and I have been doing this thing for I don't even know if we hit 4 months yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think that we have. And to watch Jay have to tell people every single day, no, we don't have time for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? No disrespect whatsoever.
No.
It really just made me think, man, I think we're going in the right direction. Each day we got to get better. Each day we got to keep getting stronger. But we got a good team. We got a good foundation. And I'm just thankful to be a part of it. I ran into people from my old job to peel back the curtain.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Carlos almost made me cry earlier with how nice he was. So I'm just, we don't ever do this. We never really break character.
Yeah.
And I think if there's ever an opportunity to do it, it is now.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, I'm thankful for everybody. Sacramento, we're just getting started.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to keep rolling.
Live in the moment.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. We got to.
Live in the moment, man. because there's a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure you guys can attest to this. There's a lot of people who found out you were coming to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl, and they were like, man, how?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Oh,
What
no.
for?
Yeah.
It was hard for them to understand. You know how many, you lucky, you're blessed. Man, I wish I was you. Oh, I know it's going to be fun. Your team is going to the Super Bowl and you're going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like, I got that so many times, from Uber drivers to the mailman to, mailmans don't exist anymore. But you get what I'm saying, because mail just is like snail mail.
They
right
still
now.
out there.
I know. Shouts out
It's
to
like
our
the
mail
milkman.
folks.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're listening.
Exactly.
But I received that quite a bit.
Yeah.
I received, and I'm pretty sure you guys got that too.
Oh,
Quite a
definitely,
bit.
definitely. All right, let's get into some prop talk here.
Prop talk.
But this is a funny one, right? And we haven't done it. I feel like we only said Taylor Swift on the show
I
the
feel
last
like
3
we've done
days,
a
maybe
great
under 10
job.
times.
We have done
I think
a
we're doing
great
a great job. But we're going to do some here just because they're so ridiculous,
Yes.
okay? This is these Taylor Swift props. Taylor Swift primary.
Also, hold on. There are so many Taylor
I know.
Swift props. It's
I know.
I think there might be like more Taylor Swift specific props than actual game props.
Taylor Swift primary color of top.
Oh
Coming off
Red.
the plane. I'm reading these lies.
It's gonna be red.
Coming off the plane. Not even there.
at the game.
You have
what shade of red is that Chiefs? Like ketchup? That's not ketchup.
It's kind of
red.
ketchup.
I think it's Heinz red or something like that. I mean,
black
yeah.
at plus 200, reds. I can't believe I'm doing this.
It's
Silver,
red, bro.
gray, blue,
red.
yellow, green.
But
If you
she
play
could,
green, you gotta you could
she can
make
rock the
some
alternate
chicken.
though, because it might be too obvious. I think she wore. I really hate that. I feel like I know this, but I think she wore red in the AFC Championship game. She maybe you can switch it up. You don't want to.
That's right.
Make it. They're famous and they're rich. You can't be looking like you're wearing the same outfit as you were last time. Maybe she wore a Christian Juszczyk piece, huh?
Will Taylor Swift wear a Travis Kelce jersey during
no
the
way.
game?
Does she not do that?
No, she hasn't
Okay.
done it. She hasn't worn a.
And then the custom Juszczyk stuff doesn't count, right? If she's wearing like a custom.
I don't know. I don't think
Okay.
so.
Yeah,
we can't get to it.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. I just because
We've been doing
when money's
radio. I don't
involved,
wanna-
when money's involved.
I hear you. All right, Taylor Swift primary color of top. Taylor Swift
lipstick color.
wear on bottom
What?
half lipstick color. Why is this
Bro,
happening?
yeah, all right.
Listen, over under on pieces of jewelry. She
Yeah.
will wear.
Oh, this is
Again,
crazy.
like it's nuts that there is going to be people who legitimately make or break their bank account.
No, this is crazy
on
here.
Sunday.
Okay, all right. I promise we're done after this.
Yeah.
Will Taylor Swift be seen mouthing a curse word?
Brother.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Also,
You said we were done. We were making fun of it, and then you took it.
Who is in charge of doing these? Like making sure. Oh, what did she say? Shoot, or was
Yeah.
that
Dude, this is can be rigged so easily.
That's what I'm
too.
saying.
It's
too,
evil.
Yeah.
It's like what if she I
puts,
know.
or one of her team puts
I
something
know,
down on?
it's
Oh,
too
I already know
easy.
she's going
Yeah.
to wear a yellow. Like it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts.
I got one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Rushing yards and first. Oh,
You're
I
good.
think we're gonna guess.
Oh,
yeah. How you doing?
how's it going? Yes, thank you. Awesome. Yes, so it's only right. Cool.
How you doing, man? Let me pull this up. We were just talking. You just missed Taylor Swift props.
I know,
You can get back
man.
into it if you want.
Taylor Swift props.
No, you don't
No, we
want
won't
that.
do that to you,
You
man.
don't want that. We are joined by Nick Ferguson, NFL veteran. Nick, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate it, man. By the way, full transparency.
Yeah, what's up?
I do listen to Taylor Swift music.
Okay.
Now,
Swifty in the house.
let me look around because I can't let this get back home to the hometown.
Yeah. Well,
she makes popular music. It's
that's
pop
right.
music.
That's
yes,
right.
it is very popular music.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. All right, talking to Nick Ferguson, former DB in the league. Nick, we see what you got up here, the truth about drugs. Why don't you talk a little bit about what you got going?
Yeah, man. Thanks you for giving me an opportunity to talk about this. I'm really passionate about it. I mean, drugs is something that has impacted our community either directly or indirectly. You look around this room, there's not a single person who hasn't been impacted by it.
Yeah.
And, fentanyl is a huge issue in Denver, Colorado, and around the world right now. And this is just kind of my way of offsetting it. And the idea is if you can educate kids or teachers or educators on the fundamentals of and the dangers of drugs, kids are less likely to indulge in drugs. And for me, I grew up in Miami.
Yeah.
And we idolized the drug dealers. So much so that I don't even call them drug dealers. I call them street pharmaceutical reps.
Man.
Right? Because they work in a corporate type of environment, but it looks more from a street standpoint. And once again, I mean, I've seen what drugs can do to a family. I mean, I've seen it in my own personal family.
Yeah.
So being able to go out, myself and Marshall Folk, and being able to kind of push this out there, it's something awesome.
Shifting things over to the game side of this, both of these defenses, I mean, the Chiefs have performed incredibly this year. The Niners' front seven is absolutely incredible. Do you see either of those sides having an advantage with, I mean, the fact that they're going against elite offenses on both teams?
Well, I would say this from the Chiefs' standpoint. Spagnuolo has done a great job as a defensive coordinator. They run more man and pressure coverage than Coach Wilkes runs with the 49ers. And that's the only thing I worry about with the 49ers. In order to help your linebackers and your guys in the back end, you're going to have to run some kind of man pressure packages. That's the only way that you're going to get Bosa home. If you sit back and play a lot of zone, it's going to take them longer to get to the quarterback. But we've seen it. We've seen Travis Kelce find an open spot in the zone and sit down. So the 49ers are going to have to do something to disrupt that timing and that rhythm.
Talking to Nick Ferguson, also Denver radio host, right?
Yes.
So you're part of the Bonneville family, right?
Yes.
So thank you for joining us again as we kind of break down the game and the two defenses, everything like that. You were in the league for 10 years, right? How do you see the defense these days and how it's evolved, maybe for the better or worse? And you got guys like Lenore, Ambry Thomas, guys that 1 week you're hot, the next week in Philly they put trash cans up for their secondary. How hard is it to just, the hot and cold of just dealing with the fan base each and every week, and you're dealing with wide receivers just getting bigger and faster? It feels like every single year.
I mean, that's just life in NFL. I mean, when you play in that back end, I mean, like you said, some games are going to be great.
Yeah.
Some games are not going to be, because those guys get paid too. The idea is that you try to make sure you have more good days than bad days.
That's right.
And let's just be totally honest, man. Full transparency, the league changed the rules every single year.
Yes.
Right? Because it's all about money.
Yeah.
So if the defense shuts down the offense, they're going to change the rules to benefit the offense, because no one wants to go to a football game, pay a lot of money, and watch a baseball game.
By the way, Chris was in Vegas for that Vikings-Raiders game.
Oh, he was.
Yes. Unfortunately, I was. And we were talking with Eric Kendricks earlier, and I was like, man, I watched that 3-0 game, and then on Thursday, the Raiders scored 63, and I was like, man.
You know what? Once again, that's life in a vacuum playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
And a couple of games could be great for you, some games not. You just hope, like a game on Sunday, either team, they come out with their A game. This is not one of those games that you can walk out there and say, you know what, I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
I didn't study. Right? Something was wrong that was going on in my family. I was distracted by things that happened in Vegas, tickets and all that. No, you have to push all that aside to focus on this one game. And this is why I love football so much. This is not like any other major sport.
Right.
They have like 7-game series.
Yeah.
You get one.
Right.
You get 4 quarters
Yep.
to make it happen. If you don't do it in the 4 quarters, no one cares.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's only going to be one team to hoist up that trophy, and you hope that is you.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, our super producer, Jay, was at the fight yesterday.
Yeah.
I was just curious. They always say styles make fights. How do you think that stylistically these two teams match up?
Well, they're a little different, because when you look at what Kansas City is now, I mean, they want to run the ball with Pachenko. Patrick Mahomes doesn't have his receivers as though he used to. His only guy, reliable guy, is Travis Kelce.
Yep.
So they've been winning games, and I know people saying, well, why are the Chiefs underdogs? The reason they're underdogs is because you're doing something and you're winning games with your defense, something you didn't do, 2-3 years ago.
Right.
Now, I also say that makes them dangerous, because what happens when they do fix their offense? But San Francisco, they have weapons on their side of the ball as well. Kittle, Ayuk, Debo Samuels, and more importantly, Christian McCaffrey. That is going to be the guy Spagnuolo tries to stop, and he's going to say, you know what? Purdy has been really teetering on the point of making a lot of mistakes over the past 2 weeks. Can we force him to make costly mistakes and give us the game.
Talking to Nick Ferguson, Denver radio host, former DB in the NFL. Nick, thank you so much for joining us. Before we get you out of here, though, you've broken it down beautifully.
Yeah.
But we need a pick.
Yes.
You were the last, by the way, you were the last
guest.
live pick for us here at Radio Row.
Okay, well, I mean, I know John Lynch. We were teammates in Denver. I coached for San Francisco at one point.
I like where this is
So
going.
I have to lean towards the 49ers because I live in Denver and I can't root for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Can't do it.
Can't do it, man.
You can't do it.
Can't
You
do
can't
it.
do it.
It's a cardinal sin.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. You heard it. Last pick for Stiles Watkins, Radio Row, Nick Ferguson, and he's going with the Niners. Nick, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your time in Vegas.
Niner gang, bang, bang.
There you go. That's how you end it, Chris. All right, man. Thank you so much. This has been great.
What a week.
All right.
3 days, not even a full week.
No, it
felt
feels like it's been about 2 weeks, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted to do this
Yeah,
with
man.
anybody else.
It's
Thank
awesome.
you so much, man. And thank you to all the listeners. Any last words you want to say,
No,
Chris?
just thanks to all the guests, man. You've killed it. Nate's killed it.
You've
Jay
killed it.
has been out of control
Yes.
killing it.
Yeah.
Thank you to all the listeners. Again, I know this isn't the typical radio format. but
Yes.
if y'all listen to us the last couple days, we appreciate you a lot, man.
All righty. We got to get out of here. Thank you for listening. Drive Guys up next. We will be back Monday in Sacramento. And according to Nick Ferguson, celebrating a Niners Super Bowl victory. Thank you again to Jiffy Lube for sending us out here.
Yes.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Has Monty